And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, the home of the Jamestown Jammers, getting set for postseason action tonight as they host the Onondaga Flames in a one-and-done opening round playoff game. The winner of this game will move on to tomorrow night's action and will take on either Geneva or Elmira. If the Jammers would move on, the game would be played here. If Onondaga moves on, it would be played at the opposition's park to start the West Division Championship Series. Well, it all boils down to this. You work so hard all season, you try to get to the playoffs. Jammers did that last year with a hard charge at the end of the season, but they were erased in a one-and-done playoff game last year by the Utica Blue Sox in a rain-delayed affair. No rain in the forecast for Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park tonight. Nothing but clear skies and hopefully a win for Dave Lascala, who will be tonight's starting pitcher. We'll come back and we'll talk to both Anthony Barone and Hayden Carter. It's an expanded edition of the Coaches Show in this first postseason game, and it is coming up next. Keep it here on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Welcome to the playoff season in the PGCBL. It's game one of the playoffs for 2017, but first, we're sitting here with Anthony Barone, and we'll look back to last night's victory over the same team we're playing tonight as we defeated the Onondaga Flames last night, and not the easiest of games to get a win out of.
Yeah, it was a good test before tonight's game. We had to play really well, and we had to come from behind. So showed our boys, we were still playing hard all the way through game 49, and we didn't let up, even though it was a game that really didn't mean anything in the standings. So I was proud of the guys how they played.
One of the things that happened there that was somewhat of a repeat of our tough times, and that was the amount of left on bases again that we seemed to struggle with in the early innings. That got better toward the end of the game, and we were starting to clean those guys up off the base paths and get them across the plate.
Yeah, well, if you followed us most of the year, we're not a big team where we can string 3-4 hits together. A lot of the way we score is through walks and hit by pitches and stealing bases and creating runs with our legs and small ball. So, it's tough for us when we get men on base. We'd like to be more successful getting hits to bring them in, but sometimes that's just not who we are. So, we've gotten this far with the way we are, and, we hope to continue just to battle and grind out innings.
One of the things, too, from last night is you end up, Corey Blessing has a bad inning, and then you bring in Jake Gilhouse, and what a finish of the game by Gilhouse. Yeah,
Jake, he's waited around most of the year for his turn, and this last 20 games or so he's gotten more opportunities. And he's done really well. He's a young kid. He's a freshman this past season at Kalamazoo, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. He did a really good job keeping them off balance and throwing 3 pitches for strikes. And, he could have moped around most of the season and been upset with his role, but it shows what type of competitor he is, that, he stuck it out all the way to game 49, and, he earned a win. It was great stuff by him.
Absolutely. And it was interesting to see the team had a good reaction at the end of the game, I thought, realizing that this is what it takes to, it's a grind, and here we are coming down to the end of the grind, but it's the type of thing where you have to keep going, you have to be a good teammate, support the other guys on the team, and go from there.
Yeah, it was good. The guys stuck it out together, and they were real happy about the win last night. It's good to see, it's not just another win. Anytime you can win a baseball game, it's a blessing, you got to do everything right, and those guys deserve the win. Whether we played our best game or not, it's still a win. So the year, you can win many different ways, and just to cap off a regular season and do what we did most of the season.
You know, one of the interesting things in the testimony to the bullpen, and we're going to talk to Hayden Carter at length here as part of this special post-game, or postseason, that is, pregame show. And one of the things that I noticed last night going over, I think we would now be 26-2 when we're leading after 8 innings. It's such a critical part of the game. And when we have the lead, we end up going on to win. No other team in the league has that kind of a mark.
It's a testament to, the job Coach has done, Coach Carter, with the pitching staff. And I think a lot of that, too, can be a testament to our good defense this year, When you play clean defense and you pitch it well, when you have a lead at the end of the game, it's tough to give it up. So, I kudos to Coach Carter and his staff, and our defense this year has been really good, pretty rock solid for most of the season, and it's a good thing to have. But right now everything's wiped clean and slate's clean because it's playoff time. So you play it inning by inning, pitch by pitch, and hopefully tonight we can have a lead at the end of the game to hopefully work on that record.
Yeah, it's one to certainly be proud of. Now, one of the other things, you ended up, as far as the league goes, with the best and determined by ERA pitching staff in the league, and also ended up with the best fielding team. The batting average, we ended up third in the league. At one time, we were the league leader. We were over 300, and you and I were just talking prior to recording this pregame show about the fact that it's really somewhat unrealistic to expect to maintain that through a whole season.
Yeah, it's 3 parts of the game. You hit, you pitch, and you field the ball. And to lead the league in 2 out of the 3 categories is a great deal, a big deal. And then, the other category offensively, we're third. So, I think that could determine what our record was. But like I said, Dave, everything, now it's a new season, and I know we have a lot of pressure on us tonight, as the home team. And we had such a good regular season, and we really want to go out here and just play the game the right way and do the things we've been doing all year and not try to be any different than we were. So, it's a good testament to the work the guys have put in the summer and the cohesiveness they've shown.
All right, as we continue on here in an extended coach's interview before tonight's game, wanted to talk to you about, in this situation where it's one and done, how does that change your thinking if a pitcher gets into trouble? How quickly you're going to go out with a hook?
Oh, there's a hook, quick hook. There's 9 innings to play. If a guy doesn't have it, you got to get to the next guy. Doesn't matter who it is, and you just got to make sure you don't have that big inning against you. And offensively, try to play the same way. But early on too, we might push across a couple with a bunt, or I guess it's just determined by who we have up in the order and what we do, but we're going to try to play the same baseball. It's just, we might do things a tad bit differently just because it is a playoff game. It's one and done, and, you got to be smart, too, as a coach. You can't be stubborn. You have to adapt to the situations.
One of the things that we always discuss when we do the pregame show is who you give the ball to start tonight's game. So let's first talk about the guy that will be on the mound in this important game 1.
Yeah, David Laskawa.
And David has certainly put together a more than respectable season here with us, and really has, even in games where he struggled a bit, still looked good. And it's just been an outstanding performance by him, and certainly worthy of getting the ball from you. Talk about Dave and what you saw in him throughout the course of the year.
Well, he comes from a junior college up in Niagara County Community College, where they were highly successful and pitched in the Junior College World Series. And, just a lefty, very crafty, not overpowering, but he commands 3 to 4 pitches really well, and he'll strike guys out. And from a staff standpoint, we sort of, this is what we wanted. Statistically speaking, our best guy, and I think this is what we wanted, and so right now it's worked out really well, and I know Dave's very competitive, so I think he gives us a good chance.
All right, and the other thing we always discuss is the lineup. And you gave some guys a day off yesterday leading into this, which I will assume that they would be back in the lineup coming here tonight. And not that, you know, this has been one of the things that's kind of amazed me. And any time you're blessed with this kind of a situation as a head coach or a manager, whatever you are, where you're in a situation, I call it plug and play, where you can plug guys into the lineup and it works pretty much the same way it does no matter who's in that position. Talk about that luxury of having that kind of a assemblage of talent.
Well, you know, I think they're all competitive enough to know that when their number's called, that it's their time to shine. And you know, tonight, yeah, we gave Brookover a day off, and Stuffle stepped up, played a good first base yesterday, and you know, tonight it's Brookover's turn, and he's been one of the guys that's led us the last couple of years. And you know, we're going with a predominantly veteran group tonight. That pretty much all of them are going to be seniors in college, and you know, behind the plate we're going to go with Cross, who's Lascawa's teammate, and he's caught Lascawa quite a bit. He's gotten a lot of work the last week or two, so I think he's getting better behind the dish as a young kid. So you know, we'll see. And Bernick's been playing a really good second base, so we're going to go with Bernick tonight at second, and you know, we'll have Markey offensively off the bench and Stuffle off the bench tonight. And hoping Conley can, you know, come up big as the DH tonight.
All right, that covers most of the offense and a little bit of the pitching as well, but we'll come back. And first we'll say good luck, and hopefully we're talking again tomorrow night about the same time.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, we're going to talk to Hayden Carter when we come back right after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Back with our extended pregame show here before Game 1 of the postseason for the Jamestown Jammers, a one-and-done game against the Onondaga Flames, and Coach Hayden Carter joins me after getting a group of pitchers together and having them in roles that were different than what they're playing at school and being able to produce a really good pitching staff. He ended up first in the league. That's assembled by ERA, but still, you know, a good job by you and your pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, testament to guys throwing strikes. We had a good first half of the season, leading the league with an under 3 ERA, and we've made some adjustments over the course of the summer, just in terms of throwing strikes, getting ahead of guys at a better rate. Pitching the ball down in the zone more, being better with 2 strikes and 2 outs. So guys have had to make adjustments over the past couple months, and I think, like you said, guys are stepping into different roles. Guys who are starters in college are coming out of the pen, and vice versa. So all the guys have done a great job with their role, and hopefully we can do the same for the next couple games.
Talk about how you get ready for a situation like this where we're one and done. When you walk out onto the field, do you have a specific rotation as far as your bullpen for guys to get up to come into the game? Is that something you plan in advance, or is it more of a situational thing?
I think it's kind of both. You try and plan it out the best you can. But, I mean, especially in these one-and-done playoff scenarios, it's like you got to throw all the planning out the window just because, I mean, you can throw your best guy out there, but if he doesn't have his best stuff, you got to go to the next guy. So you try and plan the best you can, and we do have scenarios for each different type of situation. So we've done our work leading up to the game, and now it's up to the guys just to kind of go out and execute, and hopefully our plans align with how well they do out there.
You've been in one and
come out competitive as he's done the entire year. I'm not going to expect anything less out of him from that standpoint. But for the most part, he can't do anything out of the ordinary just because, I mean, as soon as he tries to do something that he's not usually accustomed to doing, that's when he gets into trouble, and his stuff kind of decreases in terms of like its effectiveness and its movement. So just kind of treating every game the same, whether it's a one-and-done playoff game or like a JUCO World Series or just a regular summer ball game. So hopefully he can do that, not trying to hype himself up too much, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, what other things did you do to tamp down your adrenaline when you go out there and you're in this kind of situation?
Like I said, just trying to stick to my usual routine. I developed a routine sometime between my sophomore and junior year where before every start I would do the same exact thing. So whether it was an off-season inter-squad game with just our team, or opening day, or just a random midweek game, or an NCAA tournament game, it was the same routine every time, just because that's what had made me so successful, is just staying the same and just keep going to work every day, no matter what type of scenario it is, what type of environment it is, just trying to stay within myself and just do what has been making me so successful in the past.
Now, one of the things, it's great to be in the postseason, but eventually these guys are going to be headed back, hopefully not for a week yet, but these guys will be headed back. And I think probably as much as you care about these guys and as much as you keep track of what they do every night, you're feeling good about sending them back to their school, having learned something here. Talk about that part of being a coach.
Yeah, it's definitely rewarding. I mean, the one example that sticks out in my mind was the first couple weeks here, we were watching the NCAA tournament on TV, and we see Corey Blessing coming out of the pen against the University of Kentucky. So coming from a guy that threw not that many innings the year before and came in here and was a dude for us and progressed 100% from the time he stepped foot in Jamestown until the time he left, yeah, that was definitely rewarding. And for the case of the other guys that are here this year, I'm hoping to see Brad Griggs take a step up at UTSA, and all the other guys. I mean, I can go down the list, but it's definitely a success. It definitely makes myself, and I'm sure it makes Coach Barone feel very accomplished.
And these young guys, the younger guys in the pitching staff on the roster, seem, they have a lot of high end in them that they can reach before they're done at college.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that stick out, I mean, Gilhouse last night, Coach Barone already talked about it, but I mean, he hasn't really got that many opportunities, but as of the last 2 weeks, he's gotten in a lot of games, and he's progressed a lot since he got here. He's throwing strikes with all 3 of his pitches. He's pitching with a lot more confidence, and hopefully that translates over. Kind of what we saw last year from Steve Simmons, where he came here not really having a lot of confidence, but by the end of the summer, he was a dude for us. So with the other young guys, I mean, for the most part, I can't really think of any other young guys besides Meza, who's also developed a ton of confidence. So, I mean, for the old guys, they've learned their own certain things regarding pitching, but I think for the young guys, it's just developing a sense of confidence, just because, I mean, Meza got 15 innings at Bakersfield this year. Gilhouse was a starter, but I think having him experience that type of success this year along with Meza, I think that'll go a long way at a school.
And there you have it. Anthony Barone, Hayden Carter, the 2 guys that are guiding these young men and have done such a good job throughout the 2017 season, letting you know about their pitchers and about the team as a whole. And it's certainly one that both can be proud of. They're taking on the Onondaga Flames tonight here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park, and it's time to meet the starting lineup for the Onondaga Flames. Leading off, right fielder number 11, Stephen Bennett. Batting second, the center fielder number 27, Kyle Gallagher. Hitting third, first baseman number 24, Trey Bauer. Batting fourth, right fielder number 9, Sam Little. Batting fifth, the catcher tonight, number 4, Camilo Spinozo. Hitting in the 6th position, third baseman number 12, Webb Little. Batting seventh, second baseman number 21, Alex Canty. Hitting 8th, shortstop number 7, Wyatt Myers. Batting 9th, the DH tonight is number 5, Adam Gallagher. Around the outfield for the Jamestown Jammers, Jimmy Standahar in left, Skylar Valentine in center, John Conti in right. Chris Estrada down at third, Alex O'Donnell at short. It's Nick Bernick at second, Ben Brookover is down at first, Matt Cross is behind the plate, and it is Dave Lascala on the hill. Umpires tonight, Tim Adams is behind the plate, and Gary Benton is on the bases. Everybody is set and ready to go in a one-and-done playoff game here in the PGCBL. At the plate, Stephen Bennett. Hits one down the right field line, twisting foul. No balls, 1 strike. Stephen Bennett in 2017. 330, make that 317 hitter. His 43rd game, 39th start, 39 for 123 at the plate. 9 doubles, a triple, couple homers as well, 22 ribbies, and a 903 OPS. Next pitch by Leskawa misses that PGCBL outside corner. It's a ball, and the count is now even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leskawa's next pitch, an off-speed delivery that's a bit high, and the count is now 2 balls and a strike to Stephen Bennett. Leskawa in 2017, 5-1, a 1.90 ERA. This is his 7th appearance, all starts, 38 innings pitched. And he gave up 10 runs, only 8 of those earned, and 29 hits. Next pitch to Bennett, strike 2. Counts even at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leskawa shakes off one sign from Cross and now steps off the rubber. Dave pitches off the far right side of the rubber, left-hander. And the break-even pitch popped up. Could be playable. Going over for it is Cross in his Brook over. And it hits on the roof of the Flames dugout down the first base line. And Bennett stays alive at the plate with the count still 2-2. Bennett grabs the catcher's mask and Matt Cross and hands it to him as he returns behind the plate. Stephen Bennett, 5'11", a $180 out of Auburn, New York, attending Canisius. Just wrapped up his freshman year there. 2-2 pitch inside corner, strike 3 called. And there's one gone in the Flames half of the first. It'll bring up the center fielder, Kyle Gallagher. Kyle Gallagher coming into the game for the Onondaga Flames is hitting .336, leading hitter on the team. 45th game now. Regular season he had 44, and he started 38, so this would actually be his 39th. Of course, everything's erased and it's zeros, but we'll bypass that stuff. 46 hits, 137 at-bats. First pitch by Leskawa, strike 1. Next pitch fouled off, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. The count to Kyle Gallagher. Kyle Gallagher, 6'4", 206, out of Enwell, New York, attending Cornell. Just wrapped up his junior campaign there. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Leskawa goes with some high cheese. Gallagher chases. 2 up, 2 down, both via the strikeout. 1 called, 1 swinging.
First baseman number 24, Trey Bauer.
It brings up first baseman Trey Bauer. Bauer, on the season, hit .287. Played 41 games, and he had 40 starts. 39 for 136 at the plate. Grounds one down the third base line, fair. Scoop by Estrada, and a little sidearm toss, and it's not fieldable by Brookover. Matt Cross backing up in against the perimeter fence down the line. And Ben Brookover got hit pretty hard, and I think he may have had his sunglasses were knocked off his cap. As he tried to do the tag, he had to come off the first base bag down the first base line a bit, and unable to receive the throw from Chris Estrada. It'll be a hit and an error. A single for Trey Bauer, and then the error on the throw, moving him up to second base. At the plate, Sam Little. Did not see Sam last night. Hits one into the right center field gap. Conti on his horse, reaches out. It's off the tip of his glove and picked up by Skylar Valentine. Still good enough to score Trey Bauer from second, and pulling into second base with a double and an RBI is Sam Little. Onondaga 1, Jammers nothing. John Conti was in the picture, reached out with his glove, and it just went off the tip of the webbing of the glove. And Skylar Valentine, kind of like a pinball game, was out there to scoop that up and get it right back in. Bauer scoring from second. And at the plate, the catcher tonight, Camilo Spinozo. 2 out, line drive right at Nick Bernick. And Nick will field that one, retiring Spinozo. and the Flames in their half of the first. For Onondaga, 1 run, couple of hits, 1 jammer error, and 1 runner left. The score at the end of 1 half is Onondaga 1 and the Jammers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is the news. This morning, we are saluting the 2.2 million women who have joined in the war effort. They now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
The prestigious Harvard Medical School is breaking ground today, opening its doors to new female applicants.
Today, little girls all over the world look to the sky, where the first woman is now in space.
Military stereotypes are challenged today with the trailblazing promotion of a U.S. female officer to 4-star general. It was just announced that the vast majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
We've come so far, but our news is changing for the worse. More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women.
Back for the Jammers half of the first, and the lineup for the Jammers tonight, leading off the DH, number 17, Chris Conley. Batting second, the right fielder, number 6, John Conti. Hitting third, first baseman, number 30, Ben Brookover. In the cleanup spot, center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine. Batting fifth, shortstop, number 1, Alex O'Donnell. Hitting sixth, the left fielder, number 29, Jimmy Standahar. Batting seventh, third baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 21, Matt Cross. And hitting ninth, second baseman, number 13, Nick Bernick. Around the field for the Onondaga Flames tonight, Stephen Bennett in left, Kyle Gallagher in center, Sam Little in right, Webb Little is at third, Wyatt Myers at short, Alex Canty at second, Trey Bauer at first, Camilo Spinozo behind the plate, and Justin Byer on the hill for the Onondaga Flames. On the season, Byer 1-2 with a 3.68 ERA. That is, he appeared in 8 games and he started 7. Chris Conley at the plate, and the first pitch to him, squared to bunt, pulls back, takes ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Chris Conley coming into the game tonight, hitting .382, leader on the Jammers. Played 41 games, started 39. 1-0 pitch. Right down the pipe, taken by Chris, and the count is even at 1-1. Chris Conley, 6'1", 230 from Derby, New York, attending Canisius, heading off into his senior year once this season is over. He'll be with the Golden Griffins. 2 balls, 1 strike, though, the count on him right now. Jammers trail 1-0, bottom of the first. Conley, the leadoff batter. 2-1 pitch is way high, and it's ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Conley, certainly during the course of the season, just showed an amazing ability to get on base. That one's over the outside corner, strike 2, and the count's full with 3-2. And all you have to do is look at his OPS, 1.192. That's almost ethereal. Payoff pitch hits him on the knee. And that is another category that Chris was among the league leaders in. He was hit by a pitch 12 times in the regular season, and he's been hit now with a pitch in the postseason. He's down at first, and John Conti steps in. John Conti's season, wow, what an end to it. Ends up with a .345 average. Played in 41 games, and he started 32 in the regular season, 40 for 116. He scored 32 runs, had 30 ribbies, and had an OPS of .912. In on the grass at third, Webb Little. First pitch misses inside low to John Conti, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Conti trying to keep things going here in the bottom of the first in a one-and-done playoff game between the Onondaga Flames and the Jamestown Jammers. That one catches inside corner at the knees, taken by John, counts even at 1-1. John Conti, 6'1", $1.76 out of Niagara Falls, New York, attending Canisius. He'll be headed off to his senior year there, too. Fellow Golden Griffin Chris Conley down at first. Here's a grounder toward the hole between first and second. Very slow roller, but the bottom line is Canty had to wait for it till it got there. Conti was at first. Runners at first and second, nobody out, and Ben Brookover will step to the plate. Infield single, John Conti.
First baseman number 30, Ben Brookover.
Slow enough to give Canty an opportunity, but also slow enough that he didn't have enough time to throw out John Conti. Anthony Barone with the signs down there at third. Ben Brookover has a look. Chris Conley at second. John Conti at first. Nobody out. 1-0 Flames lead. Justin Byers, first pitch right down the pipe. Some off-speed stuff taken by Ben. Strike one called. No balls and a strike. Ben Brookover hit .328 on the season. Played 47 games. Started 45. 64 for 195 at the plate. 0-1 the count on him here. That pitch misses outside and a bit low, too, and the count is even 1 on Ben Brookover. Ben, 6'1", 210 from San Antonio, Texas, attending UTSA, as we all know. There's a couple of contingents on this ball called the Mercyhurst contingent, the Canisius contingent, and the UTSA guys as well. Next pitch is fouled back by Ben, just getting a piece of it. Count now 1-2. Ben Brookover headed into his senior year, along with teammate Skylar Valentine and teammate Chris Estrada. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Ben chased one outside for strike 3. 1 gone in the Jammers half of the first, and Skylar Valentine, yes, another one of the UTSA guys. Skylar lives in Pearland, Texas, and he's headed into his senior year. And I did not want to short mentioning Brad Griggs. Brad will not be heading into his senior year. He'll be headed into his junior year next season at UTSA. 1 out, 2 on. 1-0 Onondaga leads. First pitch to Valentine, catches outside corner. Strike 1 call. No balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting center fielder Skylar Valentine. He hit .333 in the season, 46 games and 46 starts. 0-1 the count on him. Justin Byer looks back at Conley at second, comes to the plate, ripped down the third base line and just foul by about 1.5 feet, and that is strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes on Skylar Valentine. If he can just get that to hug that line a little bit more down at third, we're in business. Well off the line is Sam Little in right field. Bennett not quite as much in left. Gallagher straight away in center. 0-2 count. Justin Byer taking his time. The 0-2 pitch outside low. No chase from Skylar, and the count now 1-2. Jammers and Flames in a 1-and-done. Win this one, move on to the next round of the playoffs, which begin tomorrow. Lose, and your season is over. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Byers' 1-2 pitch misses way outside this time, and the count now 2-2. Although sometimes you'll see the catcher catch one out there, and he still gets a call, but not that time for Justin Byer. Fans getting behind their Jammers. $2 got them in the ballpark, and that price applies throughout whatever playoff games are here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Way outside again, as a matter of fact, reaching out, that is to grab it, and having his catcher's mask come off is Camilo Espinozo. It's ball 3 and the count 3-2. As Anthony Barone mentioned, small ball has been a big part of this team. Walking is a part of small ball for sure. 3-2 count in the pitch by Byer. Off speed, way out in front of it. Valentine swings and misses, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down. Brookover and Valentine both strike out swinging, and Alex O'Donnell will try to keep this going.
The shortstop, number 1, Alex O'Donnell.
OD, as I like to call him, 6'1", $177 from Lockport, New York. He has transferred and is now at Mercyhurst, and he'll begin his senior campaign there this fall. 2 runners on, 2 out. First pitch to OD, misses outside low, ball 1. Alex O'Donnell in 2017, 248 average. He played in 41 games, 40 starts. Threw a little bit out there in the mound, too, as he went 2 2/3 on the hill for the Jammers. 1-0 the count on him here, and the 1-0 pitch. Catches outside corner that time at the knees, and the count is even at 1. OD, 38 for 153 at the plate, 24 runs scored, 30 RBIs, and an OPS for OD of 689. Conley at second, Conti at first, 2 out, 1-1 pitch. Outside corner, strike 2. Count now 1-2. Fans don't agree with the call. It did look a little bit on the low side here, but it is strike 2. And OD will have to battle through that with a count 1-2. 2 on, 2 out. 1-0 Onondaga leads. Justin Byer with a 1-2 pitch way outside. Nice job by Spinoza to flag that one down. Otherwise, the runners would have been able to move up, but he got it. And the count is even now at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big pitch coming up here. Justin Byer with a break-even pitch. Grounded down toward third. Grabbed by Webb Little. The ball is dropped by the first baseman, Trey Bauer. Bases umpire Gary Benton says he was off the bag. He did manage to take his foot off the bag, and now the head coach of the Onondaga Flames, Ryan Stevens, is going to come out and probably ask Gary Benton to commiserate with home plate umpire Tim Adams as to whether Bauer actually was pulled off the bag when the throw over was made and it was dropped. And now he's pointing at the line. I don't know if he's asking to go ahead and check with Adams, and Benton says, okay, let's call him out. Here comes Tim, and there goes the head coach of the Flames, Ryan Stevens, back to the dugout. So it's safe. Adams comes out. He agrees with Benton. OD's down at first. That is charged as an error on the throw to third baseman Webb Little, allowing OD to be down at first. And it brings up Jimmy Standahar. He's been up in a lot of big situations this year. None bigger than this at this point in time. Check swing down the first base line and fielding it and running to the bag. Actually, he could have walked to the bag. Trey Bauer, a check swing, excuse me, roller down the first base line to Bauer, retires the Jammers here in the bottom of the first. No runs ahead, an error for Onondaga, and the bases left loaded. We don't want to be saying that too many more times tonight. The score at the end of 1, Onondaga Flames 1, Jamestown Jammers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Top of the second inning, and for the Onondaga Flames, number 6, 7, and 8 in their batting order, Webb Little, Alex Canty, and Wyatt Myers. Due up to face Dave Lascawa. Flames did get one across, a single, and a throwing error, and then a double yielded their one run. The Jammers loaded the bases, couldn't get anything to happen. First pitch to Webb Little, left-handed hitting third baseman, strike one. Next one. Must have been low. Certainly looked like it caught that outside corner, and the count's even at 1-1. This one's ripped down to first base, takes a hop at about the knees of Ben Brookover, snags it out of the air, and wins the race to the bag, retiring Webb Little for the first out here in the top of the second. It'll bring up second baseman Alex Canty. Canty's first plate appearance tonight. Alex Canty wears number 21, 5'10", $180, out of Batavia, New York, attending Monroe Community College. Just finished up his freshman year and fouls off the first Dave Lascawa pitch, strike one. No balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting second baseman Alex Canty. He played there last night and finished up the season hitting .250. Appeared in 41 games, started 39. Next pitch over the outside corner, and Dave Lascawa quickly ahead of Alex Canty. No balls, two strikes. One out, nobody aboard, top of the second. Onondaga leads 1-0, and the 0-2 pitch fouled back off of the facade of the press box, and the count remains 0-2 on Canty. Dave Lascawa, one of those guys that has a good pace out there in the hill when he's working. And the 0-2 pitch, reaching out, slapping it to center field. Skylar Valentine makes about 6 steps over to his right and makes the catch of the fly ball off the bat of Canty for the second out in the inning. 2 up, 2 down, and that brings up shortstop Wyatt Myers. Myers played in last night's game, and Wyatt Myers finished up the season hitting .182, appeared in 37 games, started 26. Wyatt Myers ended up hitting .182, 16 for 88 at the plate, and the first pitch to him is way outside and pretty darn high too, and the count is 1-0 on Wyatt Myers. Shortstop wearing number 7, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Next pitch misses, ball 2. Wyatt from Chittenango, New York, attending Buffalo, finished up his freshman year there this past spring. Counts 2-0 on him. And the 2-0 pitch from Dave Lascawa catches outside corner, count out 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody aboard. Lefty Dave Lascawa facing right-handed hitting shortstop Wyatt Myers. 2-1 pitch. Popped up and playable. Ben Brookover in foul territory down the right field line is called off by Nick Bernick, who makes the catch to retire Myers and the Onondaga Flames in their half of the second. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, hits, no Jammers errors, nobody left at the end.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. I'm Paul George. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke, F-A-S-T. Fast. Life is why. Visit strokeassociation.org Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, home of the Jamestown Jammers, in a first-round playoff game tonight in the PGCBL West playoffs against the 4 seed, the Onondaga Flames. And the Onondaga Flames have the advantage at the moment by a score of 1-0. It'll be numbers 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Jammers, bottom third of the order. In the bottom of the second, Chris Estrada at the plate, and the first pitch is over the outside corner, strike one called. I found this interesting that the Flames, regardless of third baseman, last night it was Spinozo, and tonight it's Webb Little, on the first pitch to Estrada, have come in as though they expected a bunt. I've not known that to be a gigantic part of Chris's game. With a 1-1 pitch, Justin Byer hits the plate, strike two, and the count 1-2. In front of Anthony Barone makes the catch for the first out in the bottom of the second. 1 up, 1 down.
Now up the bat, the catcher number 21, Matt Cross.
It'll bring up Matt Cross, tonight's catcher for the Jamestown Jammers. Matt with a good game last night against the Flames, trying to repeat. Actually, it was rule last night. Cross was in Sunday's game and had a really good one. First pitch to him, a strike called, and the count 0-1. And that one's inside and down around the feet of Matt Cross. He has to skip to get out of the way, and he makes a little move out toward Byer, and Byer in fun, and Byer laughs. Counts even at 1, the pitch. Cross hits one high, deep to left center, but Gallagher is going to drift over into the gap and make the catch of the fly ball off the bat across. Matt hammered that one, and he exchanges some words with Justin Byer on the way by on the mound. Was going to mention that Gallagher was playing him over toward left center. It was a good choice. He did not have to go far to get that one. Looked like Matt had managed to hit it hard enough to get up over the head of Kyle Gallagher, but he didn't. 2 up, 2 down. At the plate, Nick Burnick. First pitch to Nick's over the outside corner, strike one. Nick coming into the game hitting .205, played in 26 games, started 20, 15 for 73 over the course of the season. That one just missed high, and the count is even at 1-1. Nick Burnick, a .549 OPS. .302 on base percentage and .247 slugging. Nobody on, 2 out. Nick watches that pitch go outside low, and the count is now 2-1. Nick, a guy that had experience in the PGCBL last year with a different team, the Adirondack Trailblazers for him. That one's outside, ball 3. 3-1 now, the count to Nick Burnick. Shadows for the evening, about halfway across the outfield now. Inside, ball 4. On a 3-1 pitch, Nick Burnick draws the walk and rolls things back around to the top of the order, and Chris Conley.
Back up the bat for your Jammers.
Conley was hit by a 3-2 pitch from Justin Byer back in the first. We got him up to second base, but stranded him there. I'm sorry, made it to third eventually. That's right, because Alex O'Donnell ended up getting on a walk, so we stranded Chris at third. 2 out. Down at first, Burnick. First pitch to Conley. Inside corner, strike one called. No balls, 1 strike to the leading hitter on the Jammers team. Oh, 1. 2 out. The pitch over the inside corner again, strike 2 at the knees. Conley does not agree, turns his back to the umpire and walks out to the edge of the home plate circle. And now turns around and comes back in. Ready to face Justin Byer. 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch on its way. Behind Conley and all the way to the backstop. Burnick moves up to second. Eventually Spinoza comes up with the ball, and Nick will stop there at second base. A shift is employed by the Onondaga Flames here. And it would be interesting to see Chris be able to find that ridiculous gap between third baseman Webb Goodell and shortstop Wyatt Myers. Myers playing on the right field side of second base, and Webb Goodell is probably about 12 feet off the line at third. 1-2 pitch. Hits him on the knee, second time. Up 2 times, on base 2 times, both rather painfully. Had his knee hit twice. Now you have 2 on again and 2 out.
Right fielder number 6, John Conte.
That'll take things around to John Conte. John's second trip to the plate tonight. He singled. Made it up to second base. We left him stranded there. Yeah, we left the bases loaded back in the first. Onondaga Flames scored 1. They lead it 1-0. We're in the bottom of the second as Conte steps in with Burnick at second and Conley down at first. First pitch to Conte. Misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count. Jammers trying to get back into this. In on the grass at third is Little. Big hole between him and Wyatt Myers, the shortstop, and John Conte trying to get one back at me again tonight. Managed to foul one back into the radio booth here last night and try to get it there again tonight. But he missed a little. Give him a chance. It's a 9-inning game. Counts even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out, 2 on. Justin Byer with a 1-1. Rip foul down the third base line. Anthony Barone was turned into target practice last night. He got whacked. I thought it hit him on the ankle, but talked to him after the game, got him on the instep of his right foot, or make that his left foot there last night. He was watching the runner at second base, and that thing got down there so fast and tried to pull his foot out of the way and couldn't do it. Fouled off by John. And the count remains at 1-2. Jammers trying to fight to get into the second round of the playoffs. A best of 3. Games 1 and 3, if necessary, would be played here. And the opponent, TBD, as Geneva and Elmira are deciding that tonight at McDonough Park in Geneva. 2-2 count. John's fouled off a couple, so we'll now see the 7th pitch of this at-bat. Burnick at second. Conley at first. It's a looper down the left field line, and going back to make the catch in foul territory is Webb Little. John Conte pops out to bring an end to the Jammers half of the second. Once again, get some runners on, but nothing happens. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Onondaga Flames, and the Jammers left 2. They've left 5 over the first 2 innings without a run. Yep, you heard me right. At the end of 2, the score, Flames 1, Jammers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
The odds of a young girl being discovered by an industry insider while singing to herself pumping gas. 1 in 300 million. The odds of a daughter of a clergyman from Severn, Maryland, spending 11 weeks at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts. 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 7 Grammy Awards. 1 in 1.4 million. 40 million records. 1 in 800,000. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism. 1 in 68. I'm Toni Braxton. And I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York. Top of the third inning, 9-1-2 due up for the Flames. And the number 9 hitter tonight is the DH, Adam Gallagher. Gallagher on the season with the Onondaga Flames. Well, let me see if I can find Adam's stats here. Hitting .222, appeared in 26 games. Started 17, 14 for 63 at the plate. Scored 8 runs. And had an OPS of .570. Up here in the postseason with a strike on him. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Dave Lascala, as we mentioned, a quick worker out there in the hill. That's when he's at his best. Pitch is grounded down the third baseline, fair. Estrada, strong throw to Brookover, gets Gallagher. 5-3. Gallagher retired on a great play by Chris Estrada down the third baseline. 1 up, 1 down for the Flames in their half of the third, and back around to the top of the order. And Stephen Bennett. Bennett haunted us last night, called out on strikes on a 2-2 pitch for the first out of the first inning. That's tonight. Up for his second trip. First pitch over the outside corner, strike 1 called. No balls, 1 strike. Nobody aboard, 1 out the pitch. Hit sharply toward shortstop Alex O'Donnell. Takes a knee-high hop. OD handles it, throws to Brookover, getting Stephen Bennett for the second out here in the Flames half of the third. 2 up, 2 down. Lascala on a bit of a roll now. And Kyle Gallagher, center fielder, steps in. He struck out swinging on an 0-2 pitch for the second out of the first inning. And then things happened. 2 out here. The first pitch misses inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 out, nobody aboard. 1-0 pitch on its way from Lascala. Eventually hits in the dirt right around the catcher, Matt Cross. Goes back to the home plate grandstand and bounces back out to the home plate circle. Tim Adams grabs it and rubs it up a bit and puts it in the old ball pocket. 2-0 the count on Kyle Gallagher. Dave Lascala, left-handed pitcher for the Jammers. 2-0 pitch, high chopper down to third. Estrada backs up, waits for the hop, then throws to first. Ben Brookover reaches back, and it looked like he tagged him from here, but bases umpire Gary Benton said he missed him. Gallagher reaches. That's a single down the third baseline.
Now up the bat, the first baseman, number 24, Trey Bauer.
Even though you take that throw that pulled Brookover off,
Yeah, I think he tagged him. Or no, yeah, I call that a hit.
it looks to me that that should be a hit. That's the way it is on the scoreboard. Third hit of the night for the Flames. This one's hit high in the air to center field, but no depth. Skylar Valentine lazily drifts over toward right center, makes the catch of the fly ball off the bat of Trey Bauer, and that retires the Onondaga Flames in their half of the third. No runs, a hit, no Jammers errors, and we had 1 runner left. At the end of 2.5, the score, Flames 1, Jammers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Jamestown Jammers, Onondaga Flames, the one-and-done playoff game, first round of the PGCBL playoffs being held at Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park. Justin Beyer on the hill for the Onondaga Flames, one of three pitchers that started seven and had the best overall numbers with a 1-2 record of 3.68 ERA. Ben Brookover, who struck out swinging back in the first, takes strike one over the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Byers' record was 1-2 in the season. He also made a relief appearance to go along with his seventh start. Neither of the other two starters did come in relief. Haggerty had a 4.75 ERA and a 5.51 for Jake Binder. And that pitch misses outside. The count now 2-1 on Ben Brookover. Jammers have stranded 5 over the course of 2 innings. 2-1 pitch. Ben watches that one go outside. 3-1 the count. Leadoff walk's okay. We'll take that. And, of course, a cardinal sin in baseball, walking the leadoff batter. Over the inside corner, Ben looked back, waited for the call from Tim Adams, checking to see if he was going to call it ball 4 or strike 2. It's strike 2, and the count's full on Ben. 3-2 pitch lined over the shortstop's head and glove, for that matter. Myers jumped over his glove as well and into left field for a base hit, a leadoff single for Ben Brookover.
The center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine.
Well, one of the UTSA guys atoned for his strikeout and his at-bat back in the first inning. Now it's up to Valentine to follow. Creeping in on the grass at third, Little. Valentine shows no indication of bunting and takes strike 1 over the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike. Brookover at first and a toss over by Justin Beyer. Thought he'd catch Ben sleeping. Ben dives back in and gets the white pinstripe uniform dirty. 0-1 count and the pitch. High chopper down to third. Little is going to go to second. Canty for 1 back over to first. They will not get Valentine. Force out of Brookover. Valentine at first on the fielder's choice. 1 out, 1 on, and Alex O'Donnell coming up.
Shortstop number 1, Alex O'Donnell.
Canty got rid of the ball quickly. And it's just that Skylar Valentine has that kind of speed, and he's down at first on a fielder's choice, as it turns out. OD at the plate. Reached on an error charge to Webb Little back in the first inning. That loaded the bases. And the Jammers unable to get any runs across back then. Runner down at first, Valentine. Speeds out there. Skylar with a pretty standard lead off the bag at first, and a toss over by Beyer sends him back to the bag, diving. Skylar Valentine on the season for the Jamestown Jammers. Did end up with 14 thefts on the season. Conti ended up with 21. Snap throw down to first, tag, and he's ruled safe. What a great throw down from Camilo Spinoza and a quick tag by Bauer. But somehow Skylar Valentine managed to beat it back. And the count is 1-1 on OD. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. A 1-0 Onondaga lead. 1-1 pitch. Misses low, and the count now 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Alex O'Donnell. Schuyler's down at first. Pitch to OD outside in the dirt. Good stop by catcher Camilo Spinozo, and the count now 3-1 on OD. OD at home, this is not his favorite place to hit. OD averaging 200 in the regular season here at home. On the road, he hit .301. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count and the pitch. That one's fouled in the batter's box, and the count's full now at 3-2. OD walks a good ways away from the home plate area there, out of the circle and almost to that circular cutout. One of those on each side of the home plate circle. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Justin Byer trying to get a critical out here, maybe at the plate with O'Donnell. Valentine at first and 1 out. Toss over, another dive back in by Valentine. The dirt should be well ground in now to Schuyler's uniform for Scotty James to take care of. Full count. Justin Byer with a big pitch here early in the game. Nope, going to go to first again. Quick tag by Trey Bauer, but Valentine still back in safely. (3-2) count. Byer really taking his time, and OD does exactly what I would have done, and that's call time and back out of the batter's box. 3 balls, 2 strikes. See if OD can bring this at bat to a positive conclusion. Outside in the dirt, gets away from the catcher Spinozo. So Schuyler Valentine gets up to second by hook or by crook. He had taken off on the 3-2 pitch, but it was ball 4. So once again, the Jammers have 2 on. Just 1 out, and Jimmy Standahar steps in. Little excuse me swing by Jimmy when the Jammers had the bases loaded, dribbled down the first base line, fielded by Bauer, and won the race to the bag, which actually just could have walked to the bag in that case. 3 unassisted. That's what Jimmy did back in the first. Right now, first pitch to him, a strike, and the count 0-1. Byers' 0-1 pitch. He may have gone around as he tried to check his swing, or it may have just been over the outside corner and a strike called. 0-2. Standahar behind quickly. Jimmy needs to lengthen this at-bat out a little bit. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch by Byer. Misses outside. Count 1-2. Good take. Count 1-2 on Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy likes hitting here at home. He hits .348 here. 1-2 pitch on its way. Chopper. Third baseman Little to Canty for 1 over to first. That is an inning-ending double play. Jammers once again with an opportunity like they have had in every inning. Score no runs on 1 hit, no errors for the Flames, and 1 runner left. The score at the end of 3, Flames 1, Jammers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
What is that?
Oh, it's my time machine.
Does it work?
Sure, just hit this button.
Whoa, dinosaurs, cool.
Or we can go here.
Hey, that's Napoleon.
Oui.
Or we can go to the future.
Wow, hey, you have this nice house. Do I have a nice house?
No, you didn't save any money, always spent it on vacations and stuff.
If only there was a way I could go back in time and correct that bad habit.
Yep.
Okay, the time machine is not real, but the saving thing is. Get in the habit of putting some of your money in savings each week through a 401k, savings account, or financial investments. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy tips on saving, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
What does this crazy little button do?
Wait, no!
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, home of the Jamestown Jammers, trailing Onondaga 1-0. Let's take a look at tonight's starters through 3 innings. Dave Lascawa's faced 12 batters, given up a run on what is now listed as 2 hits on the scoreboard. I have him with 3. He has walked nobody, struck out 2, 32 pitches for Lascawa through 3, 25 strikes, 7 balls. Meyer, on the other hand, here's a grounder in the hole between first and second and into right field as the Onondaga Flames off to a quick start here. First ball swinging, Sam Little gets the single to right field. Runner down at first, nobody out, and it brings up Camilo Spinozo. Spinozo at the plate for a second trip, hit a line drive out to Nick Bernick, final out of the first inning. Dave Lascawa from the stretch this time makes a throw over to first. Sweeping tag by Brookover, not in time to get Little. Chris Estrada expecting Spinozo to bunt. Not a bad thought. Probably about 5 feet in on the grass at third. Pitches inside, scooped up by Cross. No advance by Little possible, and it's 1 ball, no strikes to Camilo Spinozo. Spinozo on the road for the Onondaga Flames, hits .279 in 14 games. Pops that one up and out of play, and the count's even at 1. Spinozo's regular season hitting .221, so he likes being out on the road. Kind of like OD. 1-1 Nagawa pitching from the stretch here with the runner at first. Onondaga Flames count still 2-2 on Spinozo. He's down at first. It's a full count on Spinozo. And a toss over to first. Had him leaning a little bit, but Sam Little dives back in. Sam Little, not a little guy at 6'3". He can almost just kind of lean. The count is now 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Corner in that time. Lascawa gets the call, and the count evens up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lascawa will try to finish off Webb Little here. 2-2 count. Pitching from the stretch, looks back to Sam Little, throws to Webb, who pops it up, and it's playable in the infield. Cross is called off by Estrada, who charges in and makes the catch of the pop-up off the bat of Webb Little, and there are now 2 out. Big pop-up out. And it brings up second baseman Alex Canty. 2 out, runner at second, Little, of the Sam variety. Canty up for a second trip, fly ball out to Valentine in left center field, second out of the second. 2 out here. Onondaga 1, Jamestown nothing. We're in the top of the 4th. Dave Lascawa with the start for the Jammers into his 4th inning of work, a minimal amount of pitches thrown so far. And the first one he throws to Alex Canty misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. No pitch. Canty was fooled, but he couldn't pull the bat back in time. Completely in the shadows for the evening. And it's a very comfortable evening. Great night for baseball. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive, center field, base hit. Actually over toward left center. Cut off and backhanded by Skylar Valentine. RBI single with 2 out for Alex Canty. Onondaga 2. Jamestown nothing.
Now for bat, the shortstop number 7, Wyatt Myers.
And that'll bring Hayden Carter out of the Jammers dugout. Out to talk to Dave Laskawa, who is by no stretch of the imagination pitching a bad game at this point. 3 2/3 pitched so far. Only 16 have faced him. 2 runs, 5 hits. He's struck out a couple and thrown 49 pitches through almost 4 innings. And only 13 were balls. Which is up their planning for the next batter, Wyatt Myers, with Canty down at first. His coach's box. Stirring in the Jammers bullpen. Just stirring at the moment. 1 and done, and we heard about the approach for this. Much different than if you were in a best of 3, where you may be. And the runner goes down. Throw to Burnick, and they get him. Oh, no. They call him safe. And Anthony Barone is quickly out of the Jammers dugout. Nick Burnick was a little bit tardy getting over to the bag, but was there, got the throw from Cross, immediately put it down. And it looked to me like Canty slid into the glove of Nick Burnick. Anthony Barone does not get a satisfactory explanation from Gary Benton. He does get an explanation, so he heads back to the dugout. The pitch to Myers, a strike, and the count 0-1. Everybody was headed off the field, including me. We were all wrong. Canty at second now with 2 out and an 0-1 count on Myers. Laskawa looks back at Canty and comes to the plate. Myers fouls it back to the home plate grandstand netting. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Inning started with a single by Little. Laskawa got the next 2. Little had moved up to second base as they had a run and hit on, and Spinoza grounded out to third. And then Webb Little popped out to the catcher, or make that the third baseman. That was Chris Estrada came down to get that. Then Canty singled, it drove home Little, and that's where we sit. Canty has moved up to second. The next pitch to Myers was ball. The 1-2 pitch is fouled off over the... Actually, that hit in the light standard between the home plate grandstand and the first base bleachers, rattled around and bounced right back out on the field. Count remains 1-2 on Wyatt Myers. At the plate for a second time, popped out in foul territory that was caught by Nick Burnick for the final out of the second. Dave Laskawa would like to make him the final out of the fourth. Single tallies in the first and fourth, and Onondaga leads 2-0. 1-2 pitch. Outside low, counts even at 2 now on Myers. Two balls, 2 strikes. And it looks like Isaac Meza is up loosening in the Jammers' pen. 2-2 pitch. Misses outside, a little bit high, and the count now full at 3-2 on Wyatt Myers. Dave Laskawa trying to nail down the final out here in the top half of the fourth. Runner at second, Canty for the Flames. Full count, payoff pitch. Grounded in the hole between first and second. Burnick goes over, slides, gets it. Reconstitutes himself on a good foundation and throws out Wyatt Myers. Nice play by Nick Burnick. He was shadowing over toward the bag at second base. Had to go a good ways to get that one off the bat of Myers, but he got there and made the slide, managed to regather himself, get up and throw him out. For the Flames in their half of the fourth, they score a run on a couple of hits. No Jammers errors, a runner left at the end of 3.5 to score. Flames 2, Jammers nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to
this.
do is turn onto
Marcy
Marcy
and Brett
Avenue.
just broke up
and go past the first
apparently
3
she's
lights
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
then drive
think
5
she's
more
happy,
blocks
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York, Chris Estrada, Matt Cross, and Nick Bernick to face Justin Byer here in the bottom of the fourth, that is. The first pitch to Estrada was a ball, and that one is called a strike, and the count is even at 1-1 on the Jammers' third baseman Chris Estrada at the plate for a second time tonight. That pitch catches outside corner, the count 1-2. Chris popped out to fellow third baseman Webb Little for the first out of the second inning. 1-2 the count here. And the 1-2 pitch from Byer misses, and the count evens up at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Byer. Ripped down the third base line off the glove of Webb Little and continues to roll. Estrada's got a double out of this one. Picked up by Stephen Bennett and thrown back into second baseman Alex Canty. Nope, he only got the single out of it. Quick work by Bennett. Held him to a single.
Catcher number 21, Matt Cross.
It brings up the catcher Matt Cross for a second trip. Matt dug into one back there in the second inning, but hit it out there to left center. 414 is the deepest part of the park. That's in right center. 342 down the right field line, 325 down the left field line. Cross hit that one out in an area that's probably around 389 or so, and it was caught by the center fielder Gallagher. First pitch to Cross this time, misses, ball 1. 1-0 count. Estrada at first. Ripped to third baseman. Webb Little goes to Canty, and he drops the ball. Estrada's safe. Never a chance to make a throw to first. And that'll be an error on the second baseman, Alex Canty. Second error of the night for the Flames.
Number 13, Nick Barone.
Cross at first, Estrada at second, nobody out. The Jammers have stranded a lot already, and we're in the bottom of the fourth. Time to make something happen, guys. High, ball 1. Almost threw that one away. Coming with some high heat, and Nick Bernick wasn't taking the bait. One ball, no strikes. 2 on, nobody out. Bernick bunts it down the third base line, well foul. And the count is now even at 1-1. Playing here in the bottom half of the fourth, the Jammers have already stranded in the game 6 through the first 3. Trying to not let that happen again. 1-1 the count on Burnick. Nick squares to bunt, and pitcher Justin Byer steps off the rubber, goes right towards second base. Estrada was back already. Trey Bauer, first baseman, is a third of the way down the line, off the line a good ways with Nick Burnick up there. Bunts it down the third base line. Little comes in, fields, and throws to Canty to retire Burnick. Sacrifice bunt moves both runners up. 1 out, runners at second and third.
Back up the bat for your Jammers, the DH number 17, Chris Conley.
Good bunt by Nick Burnick on the 1-1 pitch from Byer. And now Chris Conley, a guy that throughout the course of this season you wanted to have at the plate. So far tonight, Chris has been up 2 times, has been on base 2 times, was hit by a pitch twice, and you know what? Intentional pass. No? Now what are they trying to do here? It looked like they wanted the intentional pass. Tim Adams goes ahead and waves Conley down to first. There's a contention that there was a balk, which would not actually take place because of the fact that it's an intentional pass. Time is automatically out, and even though Justin Byer made a move out there on the mound, that's irrelevant. The intentional pass automatically shuts everything down at that point. Bases loaded, 1 out, and John Conte up. A single back in the first and a pop out to the third baseman in the second. First pitch to Conte outside in the dirt, ball 1. John Conte has a dandy hole between Canty and Bauer, and I've seen him hit that hole a number of times this year. 1-0 the count to him. 1-0 pitch down the third base line. Chasing after it, Webb Little tried to catch it before it hit the ground in foul territory, but he couldn't do it. Counts even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bases loaded, 1 out. John Conte waiting for the 1-1 pitch from Byer. Inside, ball 2, count 2-1. Walk scores a run 2. Even though they got that big hole out there for you, John, a walk's as good as a hit in this case. Gets us within 1. 2-1 pitch. Misses outside high, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Bases loaded, 1 out. 2-0 Onondaga leads. Bottom of the 4th. Justin Byer, the righty on the hill. John Conte, left-handed hitter at the plate. Grounds 1 towards second baseman Canty. Goes to the shortstop for 1, over to first, not in time. Estrada scores, 2-1.
Your Jammers have scored, and now coming up the bat, the first baseman number 30, Ben Brookover.
They say speed kills, or in this case, it at least gets you on base and gets a run in. 2-1. Onondaga leads. Chris Conley erased on the force out at second base, but Ben Brookover comes to the plate with an opportunity to tie this thing up. Runner down at third base is Matt Cross. Conte at first, 2 out. First pitch. Catches outside corner, strike 1 called. No balls and a strike to Ben Brookover, who is 1 for 2 tonight. Struck out swinging in the first, singled in the third. On a 3-2 pitch. Toss over to first, and Conte dives back into the bag safely. Byer has a respectable move over to first base. Conte with a big lead. 0-1 count on Ben. Byer comes to the plate. Ben has a cut at it and fouls it off the shin guards of the home plate umpire, Tim Adams. And the count is 0-2. We're down to where the rubber meets the road here. Ben Brookover with a chance to tie it up. Cross at third. 2 out. 0-2 count. Byers' pitch fouled off by Ben. Count still 0-2. The drama continues. Inning started when Estrada singled as the ball took a good hop down the third base line and into left field. Matt Cross followed, reaching on an error. Then Nick Bernick bunted both runners up to second and third. Conley with the intentional walk. Conti with a fielder's choice. 1 run in. Toss over to first. John dives back in. No balls, 2 strikes, count on Ben. Gets back in. See if Byer comes to the plate this time. 0-2 count. 2 out. The pitch. Line drive, center field, base hit. We've tied it. Matt Cross scores the tying run. Conti up to second. Brookover's RBI single has knotted it up at 2. And interestingly enough, on the scoreboard, 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors now for both teams. Skylar Valentine at the plate takes the first pitch over the outside corner, strike 1. No balls and a strike to Skylar Valentine, who was in a streak earlier this year, where he just kept hitting doubles. Double would be just dandy here. Rips one, foul down the third base line. Gone around on that one, and the count is 0-2. Skylar Valentine ended the 2017 regular season with 16 doubles. Make it 17 for the year and get one in the postseason here, Skylar. 0-2 count. Bounces one up the middle. Hop over the bag, and Alex Canty will beat Ben Brookover in the race to the second base bag, forcing him out and retiring the Jammers in the bottom of the 4th. 2 runs come across, 2 hits, an error for the Flames, and there were 2 runners left on base. Yeah, more left on base. We have completed 4. The score is tied. Jammers 2, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learned to fix things yourself, so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE. Or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Heading to the top of the 5th inning, and we're all back to square one, tied at 2. The Elmira Pioneers and the Geneva Red Wings are doing battle right now, top of the 4th at McDonough Park. Elmira leads Geneva by a score of 5-1. Elsewhere, we'll give you the other PGCBL playoff scores. At the plate for the Onondaga Flames, it's Adam Gallagher. He fouls off the first pitch, strike one. Mohawk Valley leading Albany by a score of 4-3. Actually, that's a final. Mohawk Valley moves on. Dutchmen were the 2 seed. Mohawk Valley the 3 seed. Amsterdam, top seed in the league, leading Saugerties in the bottom of the 6th by a score of 4-1. Right here, we're tied at 2. 0-2 the count on Gallagher, and the pitch misses outside, and the count 1-2. Fans wanted that call. We didn't get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lascawa comes with an off-speed pitch that hits in the dirt right around the line of the right-hander's batter's box. The count's now even at 2 on Adam Gallagher.
Tonight's 50-50 number has been claimed. Thank you so much for playing our 50-50 courtesy of MD Electronics.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Adam Gallagher. Leadoff batter for the Flames here in the top of the 5th inning. 2 players are down in the Flames bullpen now. That pitch is high, ball 3. Lascawa went ahead 0-2 on Gallagher and now has managed to pitch the count full at 3-2. Lascawa's wind-up and payoff pitch fouled back by Gallagher off the facade of the press box and bounces back down to the field through the cutout circle. And it is picked up there by Stephen Bennett, the on-deck batter. Count remains full with 3-2 on Adam Gallagher. Once again, the payoff pitch. Grounds it down the third baseline. Backhanded by Estrada. Throws and gets Adam Gallagher. Charging in and backhanding Chris Estrada. It's come a long way from that story he told us about in the player profile where his coaches put him at third base and the first one hit at him, ripped his glove off, and it was laying out in left field. They were both laughing. They said, "That's okay, you'll get it." I think he has. 1 out, nobody aboard. High fly ball to left, Standahar back. Will make the catch. About 4 feet short of the warning track in straightaway left field off the bat of Stephen Bennett. 2 up, 2 down. And that will bring up center fielder Kyle Gallagher, another one of these dangerous Onondaga Flames hitters. Amazingly, Lascawa has kept Bennett off the bases tonight. He was a terror against us last night. He's 0 for 3 tonight after that fly ball out to Standahar. 2 out, nobody aboard. First pitch to Kyle Gallagher is in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Kyle's 1 for 2 tonight. Got a single when he starched one down the third base line. And Estrada could not get him at first base. This one's popped up, counts even at 1. Gallagher struck out swinging on an 0-2 pitch for the second out of the first. 1-1 the count here. 2 out, nobody aboard. Jammers 2, Flames 2, top of the 5th. 2. Oh my. I was getting ready to say strike 2, but no, it's ball 2. There was a 2 involved there somewhere to go along with the 2 outs. Quickly, Lascawa throws it in an excuse-me check swing by Kyle Gallagher. Grounds out to Nick Burnick to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down go the Flames in the top of the 5th. No runs, hits, no Jammers errors, and nobody left. We have now completed 4.5 at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. And the score, Jammers 2, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom when you drive her back from therapy.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing, and in your new role, we help you help. AARP gives you the information to help care for your mom so that you can have patience with her just like she did with you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving or call 1-877-333-5885 to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one.
Are we there yet?
Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP, we help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
2-2 score, bottom of the fifth. Jammers and Flames in the one-and-done playoff game. Dave Lascawa, so far through 5, has faced 20 batters, 2 runs, 5 hits, no walks, only 2 strikeouts. 68 pitches, 47 strikes, 21 balls. Alex O'Donnell at the plate takes the first pitch over the outside corner, strike 1. Now, the notable thing about just 2 strikeouts for Dave Lascawa, he is the strikeout leader on the pitching staff this season for the Jammers. Next pitch to O'Donnell missed, and the count is even at 1, as Lascawa struck out 53. Next closest Jammer, Brad Griggs with 38. 1 ball, 1 strike. OD, the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-1 pitch, misses low, ball 2, count 2-1. OD reached on an error charge to third baseman Webb Little back in the 1st, and he walked in the 3rd. Been on base 2 times, misses outside, ball 3, count 3-1. Don't walk the leadoff batter, the cardinal rule. And time called by pitcher Justin Byer. And some serious warming going up down in the Onondaga Flames bullpen. That pitch catches outside corner, counts full now, 3-2 on O'Donnell. Three balls, 2 strikes. Justin Byer shakes off one sign and now brings the payoff pitch. Rip foul down the third base line between the bag and Anthony Barone. Count remains full at 3-2. Trying to get a number on the pitcher warming up for the Flames. It could be Ryan Greco. That pitch is high, ball 4. OD leadoff walk. But I do not think, based on the numbers for height and weight, that is Ryan Greco that's down there loosening. Now we'll keep an eye on that down there for you. At the plate, Jimmy Standahar, in the first pitch by Byer is high, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for both teams here in the bottom of the 5th. Standahar at the plate, the 1-0 pitch. Down the middle, strike 1 called, count is even at 1. Jimmy lifted his elbows up, but kind of crouches over the plate there anyway in his batting stance, and so the count's even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Tough night for Jimmy. Check swing back in the first ended up grounding out to the first baseman Bauer and then hit in to an inning-ending double play back in the 3rd. Byer had a look over at O'Donnell, but OD had already made his way over to first base. No throw over by Byer. 1-1 the count on Standahar. 1-1 pitch. Bunted at by Jimmy, popped up, but no one's going to be able to catch that one. Just about halfway down the third base line and pretty deep in foul territory between that cutout circle off the home plate circle and the dugout. So the count 1-2 on Standahar. Take away the bunt now. Webb Little back at a standard third base position. O'Donnell at first gets a pretty good lead off the bag. The 1-2 to Standahar, loops one toward left center. It's going to fall. Standahar singles. O'Donnell stops at second. First and second, nobody out, and it brings up Chris Estrada. Estrada stepping to the plate. 1 for 2 tonight. And a run scored for Chris as he came in there in the 4th inning when the Jammers scored 2. Flames with single runs in the 1st and 4th. Jammers with 2 in the 4th. We're tied at 2. 2 on, nobody out. Corner infielders in, halfway for the middle infielders. First pitch to Estrada, squared to bunt, pulled back, and watched that one sail over his head. Ball 1. Not directly over his head, but that high over the plate. 1-0 count. Byer looks back at O'Donnell at second, comes to the plate, bunted at by Estrada. Off the hill is Byer, throws to third. They got him. O'Donnell forced out at third. Still runners at first and second, and now 1 out. Nice play by the pitcher, Justin Byer.
Back for your Jammers, the catcher number 21, Matt Cross.
He was in a position where, had he hesitated, could be bases loaded, but he didn't. He did look and realize that he had a play there on O'Donnell at third, and he made it. Standahar at second. Estrada at first. First pitch to Matt Cross. Misses low. Ball 1. Matt Cross scored the second Jammers run back in the 4th after reaching on an error. He also hit a deep fly ball out to left center field, caught by center fielder Kyle Gallagher. 1-0 pitch. Catches outside corner, count evens, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. 2 on, 1 out, tie game, tied at 2, bottom of the 5th. Justin Byer with a 1-1 pitch. Big cut and a foul over toward the Flames dugout. Scooped up by Ryan Stevens and rolled back over to the Jammers. Count now 1-2 on Matt Cross. Nick Bernick on deck. Standahar got a single. He's down at second. Estrada reached on the fielder's choice. He's down at first. 1-2 the count on Matt Cross, and the pitch is outside in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher, Camilo Spinoza. Standahar moves up to third, takes a wide turn there, and keeps an eye on Spinoza to make sure he comes up with it, and he does, but the wild pitch sends both runners up a base. Standahar at third. Estrada at second. 2-2 count. Now the infield in all the way around as the middle infielders join in. 2-2 pitch, foul tip by Cross, and Spinoza can't hold it. Slaps his catcher's mitt in disgust and now looks inside. There must have been gremlins inside that catcher's mitt that made that pop out. Counts even at 2. Matt Cross trying to put the Jammers in the lead. Fouls one into the, well, I thought it was going to get into the first base grandstands, but it just sailed up over the top row, and the count remains even at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Runners at second and third. Byers pitch. Cross on a changeup swings and misses, strike 3. 2 gone now. Jammers in danger of stranding more.
Now up to bat, the second baseman, number 13, Nick Barone.
The Jammers have stranded 8 over 4 innings, scoring 2 runs. Ryan Stevens goes out to talk to Justin Byer, buying a little time for his pitcher warming in the bullpen. It's up to Nick Bernick as to whether we end up seeing that pitcher or Byer walks back to the dugout in a tie game. Inning started when Alex O'Donnell walked. Standahar singled with runners at first and second. Estrada bunted into a fielder's choice. And then Matt Cross just struck out swinging, and the first pitch to Bernick's high, ball one. Nick Bernick at the plate in a big situation. Nick on the season with runners in scoring position hitting 200. That one's high, ball two. Interestingly enough, Nick, with the bases loaded, 1 for 3 on the season. 2 balls, no strikes count to him here. 2-0's high, ball 3. Counts 3-0. Good patience by Nick Bernick. He hasn't offered it anything yet. And the 3-0 count. Pitch on its way from Byer. Inside corner delayed call by Tim Adams, and that'll draw the ire of the Jammers fans in attendance here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Against Onondaga, Nick Bernick hitting a 143 pace. 3-1 pitch inside, hits him in the hip, and he'll go down to first base, and I think that will do it for Justin Byer. Bases loaded, 2 out. Back around to the top of the order in Conley. And Justin Byer's night is done as head coach Ryan Stevens sends Byer back to the dugout, takes the ball, and here comes the next pitcher for the Flames. And you know, I might have been right. That is Ryan Greco. So number 20, Ryan Greco, comes in to pitch for the Onondaga Flames. What a situation to inherit. Bases loaded and 2 out. It's the bases loaded part you don't like to inherit. So that'll do it for Justin Byer as he has gone 4 2/3. Give you some final numbers on Justin and also tell you about Ryan Greco in a second here. So the final totals on the night for Justin Byer: 4 2/3, 27 batters faced. 2 runs on 5 hits by the Jammers. Only 1 of those runs earned. Walked 4. Struck out 3. Hit 3 batters. Conley twice, and now Nick Bernick. Wild pitch to his credit. 114 thrown by Byer. 65 strikes, 49 balls. And the ball goes to Ryan Greco. Ryan Greco on the season for the Onondaga Flames. 2-1 with a 5.28 ERA. This will be his 14th appearance overall. He appeared 13 times in the regular season, pitched 15 1/3, gave up 9 runs, all earned, 15 hits, walked 11, struck out 20. Opponents hit 254 with big Ryan Greco out there in the hill. Greco at 6'7", 230, and I guess my perception of him out there in the bullpen was a little bit, I saw that, I thought it was number 20. For sure, I could never see only the number on his front, and so that's why I was questioning it, because he didn't look that tall, but when you have nothing to compare him against, I guess you can make him smaller, apparently. So the 6'7", 230-pounder from Camillus, New York, attending SUNY Brockport, is on the hill. Infield back at a standard depth, and the Chris Conley shift is on. First pitch to Conley right down the pipe from Greco, taken, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Bases loaded again for the Jammers. Pitch misses inside. Chris Conley goes down on his right knee in the left-hander's batter's box. Counts even at 1. They're in the bottom of the 5th now at McDonough Park in Geneva, New York. Elmira 6, Geneva 1. Mohawk Valley is on to the championship in the East, defeating Albany 4-3. And Saugerties has come back. They're in the bottom of the 7th at Amsterdam. Mohawks 4, Stallions 3. Here it's 2-2, and it's a 1-1 count on Chris Conley. Ryan Greco on the hill. 2 out, and after a discussion with Spinoza, they're going to talk it over again. Fans a little displeased with a second visit out there by Camilo Spinoza. Says his piece. Anthony Barone goes over and takes the dirt off the third. Thank you for cleaning off the third base bag, Anthony Barone. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 2 out, bases loaded. Greco's 1-1. Conley watches strike 2. 1-2 the count. Ryan Marcatel gets up. Marcatel with a couple of saves on the season. 1-2 pitch. Well, he tried to check his swing, went around. The pitch was caught by Spinoza, and that will do it for the Jammers as Chris Conley is a strikeout victim at the plate in the bottom of the 5th. The Jammers load him up again and do not get a run. No runs, a hit. No errors for the Onondaga Flames, and the bases left loaded. We have completed 5 at Russell A. Dietrich Jr. Park in the score. Flames 2, Jammers 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Back at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network tonight, including WWCB Radio. Dave Lascawa out there to start the 6th for the Jammers, and why not? He has only thrown 68 coming into the inning, and the first pitch to Bauer fouled back, strike 1. 0-1 pitch. Misses outside, counts even at 1. Bauer singled and scored back in the 1st. And hit a fly ball out to Valentine, final out of the 3rd. 1-1 pitch, ball 2. Count 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Jammers cannot say that they haven't had opportunities. 2-1 pitch, a big cut and a miss by Bauer. Aired out the infield with that one. And the count is even at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lascawa's break-even pitch, off speed and no chase from Bauer, and the count's full at 3-2. Jamestown Jammers have left 11 runners on base through 5. This one's lofted into the air to right field. Conti over near the foul line makes a running catch of the fly ball off the bat of Trey Bauer for the first out here in the top of the 6th. 1 up, 1 down, and it brings up the right fielder Sam Little. Sam drove in the first Flames run with a double back in the first inning, and then he singled and scored the second Flames run back in the 4th. 1 out, nobody aboard. First pitch, Little takes inside, ball 1. In this case, Sam Little. We have to be specific because Webb would be the guy in the hole. Spinozo's on deck. Webb would be in the hole, and a wild swing and a miss by Sam Little, and the count evens at 1-1. Frustrated with himself and that swing he just took was Sam Little. Gets back in, though, and the left-handed hitter gets ready for the 1-1 from left-hander Dave Lascawa. Catches outside corner, count now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody aboard, and a 2-2 tie. Oh, my. Matt Cross held that one there for a while before throwing it back to Dave Lascawa. Tim Adams, the home plate umpire, was not buying what Matt Cross was selling. Here's one slapped fair down the third base line by Sam Little, rounding first on his way to second. Eventually picked up by Jimmy Standahar, almost down in the corner, down in the left field line. Little with a 1-out double is at second base, the go-ahead run. And it brings up Camilo Spinozo. Spinozo on the night is 0 for 2. Line drive out to Nick Bernick, final out of the first, and grounded out to Chris Estrada for the first out of the 4th. Cross is going to come out from behind the plate and go out and talk to Dave Lascawa. Plan strategy and maybe change signs with a runner at second base and Sam Little. Dave Lascawa, knowing full well that the Onondaga Flames have brought a lip reader with them to the game. Flames hired a lip reader back at the beginning of the season. We did too. We all have lip readers. Cover your mouth when you're talking to your catcher. Just kidding. Dave Lascawa from the stretch in the first pitch to Spinozo. Outside corner, strike 1 called. One of the reasons why Lascawa had so many strikeouts during the course of the season, the ability to nibble at those corners effectively. 0-1 the count. And the pitch. Off speed, chop to Dave Lascawa. He's going to take the out at first base, runs about almost 2/3 of the way to first before tossing it to Brookover. Don't know, he may have had a shot at Sam Little, who moved up to third on the play. Works as a sacrifice bunt, and it ends up being a 1-3 put out on Spinozo. Hayden Carter out of the dugout, 2 out and a runner at third. And the little boys, as I said, once again, we get to recreate the backyard wiffle ball game as you have one of the littles down at third base and the other one at the plate. They may have played this situation out a couple of times in the little backyard. I don't know how big their backyard is, but it belonged to the Little family, so it was a little backyard. Webb Little is 0 for 2. Grounded out to Ben Brookover back in the second, and then popped out to Chris Estrada in foul territory for the second out of the 4th. Hayden Carter has his words of wisdom for Dave Lascawa. He heads back to the dugout, cross back behind the plate. Webb Little steps in. And Dave Lascawa gets ready for the first pitch to Webb Little. Off speed, fouled back and over the press box. That had him scattering in the rooms beside me here up on top of the home plate grandstand. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 2 out, runner at third. Tie game. Ground ball to Nick Bernick. Charges, gets it. Underhand toss to Ben Brookover to get Webb Little and retire the Flames. What a big out there. Nice job, Dave Laskawa. Gets out of it with no runs scoring. No runs, a hit, no Jammers errors, and a runner left. Score at the end of 5.5. Flames 2, Jammers 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth? You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
In the one-and-done playoff game between the Jamestown Jammers and the Onondaga Flames, we are tied at 2, headed to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Bottom of the 6th for your Jammers, the right fielder, number 6, John Conte.
John Conte will lead things off for the Jammers. This one is bunted foul by John, and that is strike 1. 0-1 the count. No balls, 1 strike. John at the plate for a 4th trip, has been on base twice. Singled back in the 1st inning, and then hit a pop out to third baseman Webb Little in the 2nd, but reached in the 4th on a fielder's choice. Jammers scored 2 runs in the 4th inning to tie things up at 2, and that's where we stand here in the bottom of the 6th, and the count 1-1 on John Conte. Ryan Greco continuing out there in the hill. Inside, and he hits John Conte. Another hit batsman aboard. Leadoff man's on for the Jammers in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Ben Brookover steps up.
Now up to bat, the first baseman, number 30, Ben Brookover.
Quite a night for Ben. He's 2 for 3. It didn't start out the way Ben would have liked it to, as he struck out swinging back in the 1st inning. Things improved dramatically after that, as he singled in the 3rd and then had an RBI single in the 4th. Trying to, at bare minimum, move Conte over. We'll see if John tries to go here. There's a toss over by Greco, and Conte dives back into the bag at first. Jammers may try to manufacture one here, something they have been good at. And there goes Conte. Throw down by Spinoza, slide safe. Not even close. Ball 1 to Ben Brookover. 1 ball, no strikes. Conte at 2nd on a stolen base. And boy, that mixes things up a little bit for the Flames. Would Conte try to steal 3rd? We don't know. Has a pretty standard lead off the bag at 2nd at the moment. Ben Brookover fouls one. Caught the top row of the first base bleachers. Counts even at 1 on Ben. I'll tell you, if he could go opposite field down the right field line, that ball would be rolling a while, all the way to Faulkner. 1-1 count, and the pitch. In the dirt. It's blocked by the catcher, doesn't pick it up quickly, and Conti saw that and just goes ahead and motors over to third base. Ball 2 to Brookover, a 2-1 count. Conti steals third. Go ahead run 90 feet away here in the bottom of the 6th. Tied at 2. And now the Flames infield comes in all the way around with Conti over at third. Ben Brookover trying to get John in. That pitch is outside low, and the count now 3-1 on Ben Brookover. Just a crazy amount of runners stranded by the Jammers through 5. And now with the go-ahead run at third, Ben Brookover draws a walk. Runners at first and third, nobody out. Skylar Valentine comes to the plate.
Now off the bat, the center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine.
The Jammers, through the first 5 innings of tonight's game, stranded 11. Bases loaded. Those all left stranded in the first. Stranded 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and another bases loaded situation last inning. 2 on, nobody out. Valentine at the plate. Greco's making that fake throw to third and then looks over to first, and I don't think Ben's the guy that you want to be playing that game with. He makes a straight toss over this time, and Ben gets back. Skylar at the plate for a 4th time. He's 0 for 3. Has been on base 2 times via fielder's choice. Fouls off the first pitch, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Conti at third, Brookover at first. And nobody out. Jammers and Flames tied at 2, bottom of the 6th inning. Jammers trying to advance to the next round of the playoffs, which tentatively may be against Elmira. Another fake to third and look to first. Ben was already back at the bag. Try to get you an update on that Elmira-Geneva game. 0-1 count, the pitch. Skylar swings and misses, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Oh, 0-2 pitch from Greco. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. Strike 3. Skylar, the first out of the Jammers' half of the 6th.
Now up the bat, the
1 out.
number 1, Alex.
Runners still at first and third. At the plate, OD. Another step off. Look at third, look at first, nothing happens. Appears as though the scoreboard at the league's website has taken a hiatus at this point, as we try to refresh that to get a score for you out of Elmira, or out of the Elmira-Geneva game at Geneva. 1-0 the count to OD. Pitch on the outside corner, counts even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. John Conti reached when he was hit by a pitch. Stole second. Stole third. Brookover walked. Valentine struck out. Toss over to first. Quick tag by Bauer, but Ben beats the throw. 1-1 the count to OD here. Time for somebody to come through. Might as well be OD. There goes Ben. Swing and a miss by OD. And a fake throw down to second by Espinoza. We'll call that allowing Ben to move up on defensive indifference. So now the Jammers with runners at second and third and one out and a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Alex O'Donnell. OD has walked a couple of times tonight, reached on an error, so he's been on base every time at the plate. This is his fourth trip. Infield in all the way around. 1-2 pitch, way outside. Nice job by Spinoza there. And the count is even at 2 on Alex O'Donnell. Activity again in the Onondaga bullpen. Wyatt Meyer seems to be having trouble with his cleats. 2-2 pitch outside low, ball 3. Three balls, 2 strikes. And right now, if you're the Flames, and the way the Jammers have been going tonight, it wouldn't matter much if he walked O'Donnell to load the bases. 3-2 count. The pitch by Greco. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So now 2 out with runners at second and third. Jimmy Standahar will try to get these guys in.
Number 29, Jimmy Standahar.
Ryan Stevens comes out of the Onondaga dugout and pulls his center fielder, Kyle Gallagher, and left fielder Stephen Bennett in with Jimmy Standahar at the plate. Rip one down the line, Jimmy. Have a good run for the evening. Jimmy's 1 for 3 tonight. An excuse me check swing grounder to Trey Bauer back in the first. Grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the third. Singled in the fifth. First pitch to him. Tried to check a swing but went around, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 2 out and 2 on. Checked his swing that time and took ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. 2 out, 2 on. Runner at third, John Conti, hit by pitch. Brookover was walked. He's at second. It's been 2 strikeouts since then. And a swing and a miss by Jimmy Standahar. And the count now at 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 runners stranded again. As Greco comes back after hitting Conti and walking Brookover to strike out the side. All via strikeout swinging. No runs across for the Jammers, no hits, no Onondaga errors, 2 left. We have completed 7. The score, Jammers 2, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network. We'll be back with more of tonight's first-round playoff game after this.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and
pour me out. This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York. Game 1 of the postseason between the Onondaga Flames and the Jamestown Jammers, tied at 2, top of the 7th. At McDonough Park in Geneva, the score is Elmira 6, Geneva 1. They're in the top of the 7th. Meanwhile, in the bottom of the 8th, Amsterdam has added a couple to lead Saugerties now by a score of 6-3. Mohawk Valley and Albany played earlier, and the Diamond Dogs get a 4-3 win. Stepping in, it's Alex Canty in the first. Dave Lascawa pitch right down the pipe, taken by Canty, strike 1. Canty on the night is 1 for 2. Fly ball out to Valentine in the second. RBI single in the fourth. 0-1 the count. Lascawa's 0-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch. Did he go around? The umpire says yes on the bases. Gary Benton rings him up for a swing, and the count is now 0-2 on Alex Canty. Dave Lascawa into his 7th inning of work now with the 0-2 to Canty. Hit high in the air, deep to center field. Valentine back and will catch it about 3 feet away from the warning track as he kept running toward left center field. Canty is out, number 1. If it's in the air and it's between Olean and Erie, Valentine will catch it. He got that one. 1 gone. Wyatt Myers, the shortstop, steps up. On the night, Wyatt Myers is 0 for 2. Popped up in foul territory down the right field line, caught by Nick Bernick. First pitch to him, strike 1. And also grounded out to Bernick in the 4th. Up here in the 7th with nobody aboard and 1 out, and a no-ball 1-strike count on him. Lefty Dave Lascawa getting the sign from Matt Cross. And now everything resets, including batter Wyatt Myers. No balls, 1 strike. Lascawa's 0-1 pitch. Swung at and just getting a piece of it, chopping it foul back toward the home plate grandstand. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Dave Lascawa to this point in the ball game, 6 1/3, 26 batters faced, 2 runs, 5 hits, struck out 2, 88 pitches. Here's a weak grounder down the first baseline. Lascawa off the mound, makes the underhand toss to Brookover, retiring Wyatt Myers for the second out of the inning. Myers hesitated a little bit coming out of the batter's box, and I don't know that that necessarily cost him being down at first, but he could have made the play a little bit closer. Good work by Lascawa and Brookover teaming up to get him for the second out of the inning, and Adam Gallagher steps up. Gallagher's grounded out 2 times to Chris Estrada in the 3rd and the 5th. Up here in the 7th, first pitch to him, inside high, ball 1. I'd like to welcome everybody on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network, including our stream on TuneIn Radio. Fly ball to right. Conti goes back, makes a little over-the-shoulder catch as John looks like he was trying to make a play in training camp for the NFL. Nice over-the-shoulder catch, John, to retire the side. For Onondaga, they go 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the 7th. No runs, hits, no jammers, errors, and nobody left at the end of 6 1/2. We're tied. Jammers 2, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Heading to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and a pitching change for the Onondaga Flames as Ryan Marketel comes in to relieve Ryan Greco. And we'll give you some numbers on Greco in a second here. Stepping up to the plate, it'll be Chris Estrada.
Leading off in the bottom of the 7th for your Jammers, the 3rd baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada.
See if Chris can get something started here for the Jammers in their half of the 7th in a 2-2 tie. Number I wanted to give you here as we head to the bottom of the 7th. The Jammers, when leading after 7 innings of play this season, 29-1. We're tied at 2 right now, and the first pitch to Estrada from Marketel, outside corner, strike 1 called. Final numbers for Ryan Greco goes an inning and a third, 6 batters, walked 1, struck out 4, 1 hit batter, 23 pitches, 13 strikes, and 10 balls. Marketel's next pitch to Estrada in the dirt, and the count's even at 1. Marketel, 6'5", $195 out of Webster, New York, attending Monroe Community College. Just finished up his freshman campaign there. Count 1-1 here. Jammers trying to get the leadoff man on and get something started here in the bottom half of the 7th. Both runs scored on 5 hits, and this is a pop-up. Right fielder Sam Little in shallow right center field. The height of that gave him enough time to get underneath it and make the catch. A little bit more of a looper, and maybe Chris Estrada could have reached, but he flies out to Sam Little for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. And that'll bring up the catcher, Matt Cross. Matt's been at the plate 3 times. He has been on base once, reached on an error, charged to the third baseman back in the 4th inning. Also hit a deep fly ball out to left center field, caught by center fielder Kyle Gallagher back in the 2nd. Struck out swinging in the 5th. First pitch to him, a strike. This one's ripped in the hole between short and third into left field. 1 out single, Matt Cross. And it brings up Nick Bernick.
Now up to bat, the 2nd baseman, number 13, Nick Bernick.
Nick has had a very interesting night at the plate, to say the least. As his first at-bat, he walked. Then he hit a sacrifice bunt. Then he was hit by a pitch. Interesting stuff for Nick tonight. And he's hit again. This time by Marketel. Back-to-back hit by pitch. Runner at second cross. Bernick at first. Chris Conley
Back up the bat for your
with a chance.
DH number 17, Chris Conley.
Conley hit by a pitch in the first, made it to third. We stranded him there. Hit by a pitch in the second. Never made it past first base. Intentional walk back in the fourth. He was forced out then and struck out swinging for the final out of the fifth. Up here in the seventh. First pitch over the outside corner, strike one called. If you want to buy into all those stats, you want the Jammers to be leading after this inning. With a record of 29-1, yeah, I'm going for that. 0-1 count, the pitch, way outside, and the count evens up at 1-1. This is a one-and-done game. You lose this, your season's over. You win it, you move on to the best of three Western Division Championship Series. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, 2 on. The pitch, way outside, ball 2. Count 2-1. Camilo Espinoza getting stretched out pretty good here. 2-1 count. Leaning in to get the sign is reliever Ryan Marketel. 2-1 pitch. Grounded foul down the first base line. Good idea, but foul. And the count is now 2-2, just a noisy strike. And popping out of the bullpen to retrieve that foul ball for the Flames is Dylan Nolan, who started in left field last night for the Flames. Last guy, and I have not been keeping a close eye on the Jammers' pen, but the last guy that was up down there was Isaac Meza. Right now, 2-2 on Conley. The pitch. Grounded up the middle off the leg of Marketel. They will not be able to get Conley. The bases are loaded again. Credit Chris Conley with a single on a hard hit shot back into the box and off the leg of Marketel. Conley at first. Bernick at second. Cross at third. 1 out. And probably the most difficult guy on the Jammers team to double up in John Conti at the plate. Corner infielders are in. Middle infielders about halfway. Conti pops up the first pitch, giving chase. Webb Little in foul territory. Reaches over the fence and makes the catch. Reaching over the perimeter fence. Catching the pop-up off the bat of John Conti. And there are now 2 out. Could this possibly happen to the Jammers again, where they leave 3 on base without scoring anything? It's happened all too many times tonight. It's up to Ben Brookover to try to make sure that doesn't happen. Ben right now 2 for 3 in the night, been on base 3 times, couple of singles and a walk. Ryan Marketel, the righty on the hill for the Flames. First pitch to Ben. Misses low, ball 1.
Just announced that when they score, are they still wanting to do that?
1 ball, no strikes. 2 out and the bases loaded. Runner down at third, Matt Cross. Bernick at second, Conley at first. Ben Brookover. 1-0 pitch ripped at the third baseman, Webb Little. He snags it and retires Brookover to retire the side, and the Jammers do it again. They leave the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 7th. No runs, a couple of hits, no errors for the Flames, and the bases left loaded again. The score at the end of 7, Flames 2, Jammers 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing puts a bigger smile on my face than cooking up a big meal for family and friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million kids in America who are struggling with hunger. These children, that's 1 out of every 5, often have to skip meals because there's just nothing to eat in the kitchen. Yet there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food produced right here in America to feed every last hungry child. If only there was a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across our country. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America at your local food bank and at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Top of the 8th inning, and Dave Lascawa's night is done, but what a night it was. Giving up single runs to the Flames in the 1st and 4th inning. Dave Lascawa goes 7, faces 27 batters, 2 runs, 5 hits. Struck out just 2 tonight, very unusual for Dave, but he goes through 7 innings and throws just 91. 64 strikes, 27 balls. Enter into the game, Isaac Meza. Isaac, from my point of view, has been one of the better relievers out of the pen. Comes out there with an intensity every time he comes out. And now we'll try to silence the Onondaga Flames with the top of the order due up, and Bennett, Gallagher, and Bauer. Meza on the season 1-0, a 1.73 ERA. He appeared 17 times, recorded the save, 26 innings, 8 runs, only 5 earned, 18 hits, walked 5, struck out 20. And the first pitch to Bennett's fouled back, strike 1. Opponents averaging a $191 with Isaac Meza on the mound. 0-1 the count here. 0-1 pitch right down the pipe, off speed, taken by Bennett, strike 2. 0-2 the count. 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for Onondaga. 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Jammers. 0-2 pitch, way outside. Count now 1-2. A true waste pitch by Isaac Meza, and he now asks for a different ball from the home plate umpire, Tim Adams. He does have one, and now gets Jammer's bat boy to bring out a couple more for him. 1-2 count. Isaac Meza with a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Now up the back, the center fielder number 27, Kyle Gallagher.
That'll bring Kyle Gallagher to the plate. Gallagher making his 4th trip up there. So far tonight, 1 for 3. Struck out swinging on an 0-2 pitch, second out of the 1st. Singled back in the 3rd on a grounder down the 3rd base line. And grounded out to Nick Bernick, final out of the 5th. Little looper out toward shallow right. Bernick back, over the shoulder catch for him. Everybody's getting into the NFL act. 2 up, 2 down. And that brings up the first baseman, Trey Bauer. Bauer on the night is 1 for 3, singled and scored. One of the 2 Onondaga runs, did that back in the 1st. Hit a fly ball out to Valentine, final out of the 3rd, and a fly ball out to Conti, first out of the 6th. First pitch by Meza over the outside corner, strike 1 called. Isaac Meza, an imposing figure out there in the hill at 6'3", 235 from Valencia, California, attending Cal State Bakersfield. And this one's popped up to center field. Valentine Goes over a few steps, gets under, and makes the catch of the fly ball off the bat of Ballard to retire the side. And Isaac Meza comes in for a 3-up, 3-down, top of the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no Jammers errors, nobody left. We've completed 7 1/2 in the score. Flames 2, Jammers 2, here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Well, after Marketel pitched out of a bases-loaded jam, head coach Ryan Stevens of the Onondaga Flames says, "I've seen enough," and he taps the shoulder of Matt Bowman to come into the game and pitch for the Flames here in the Jammers half of the 8th inning in a tie game. Matt Bowman on the season, 3-2 with a 2.16 ERA, 7 saves, 25 innings pitched, 8 runs, 6 of them earned in 25 innings pitched. He's also given up 25 hits. He has walked 11, struck out 20. He has given up 3 doubles and a triple. Opponents, with that fine 1-loss record and ERA mark, are hitting .275 with Matt Bowman on the hill. Jammers were trailing in the game till the bottom of the 4th inning when they scored 2 to tie it up, and no one has scored since. It'll be the middle third of the Jammers order due up to face Matt Bowman. Stats on the night for Marketel goes 1 inning, 6 batters, no runs, couple of hits, left the bases loaded, hit a batter. Threw 13 pitches, 8 strikes, 5 balls. First pitch to Valentine, misses, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Skyler, the leadoff batter. That pitch is in the dirt in front of the plate, about 3.5 inches. Skips all the way to the home plate grandstand. The count is 2-0 on Valentine. 2 balls, no strikes. Matt Bowman with a 2-0 pitch. Valentine reaches out and fouls one back over the home plate grandstand. The count 2-1. Tim Adams needs more baseballs. Calls time as the bat boy brings out a couple for him. And now everything is set and ready to go. 2-1 the count to Valentine. 2-2 tie, bottom of the 8th. The pitch by Bowman. Valentine squares the bunt and is rung up on a pitch over the outside corner, and the count's now 2-2. Skyler at the plate for a 5th time tonight. Been on base twice via fielder's choices. Struck out the other 2 times. Lofts one in the air to right center field. A lot of air underneath it, more than enough time for Sam Little to get underneath it and make the catch of the fly ball out. Off the bat of Skyler Valentine, 1 up, 1 down. And it brings up Alex O'Donnell. OD at the plate for a 5th time, but he only has 2 official at-bats and 0 for 2. Reached on an error back in the 1st, walked in the 3rd and 5th, and struck out swinging on a 3-2 pitch for the 2nd out of the 6th. First pitch to him, a ball, and out from behind the plate, it's Camilo Espinozo going out to talk to Matt Bowman. Seven strong innings from Dave Lascala. Perhaps the one thing missing from his outing tonight is the number of strikeouts he normally records. Only got 2. Team leader in strikeouts this year. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball in the hole between short and third into left field. OD with a 1-out single to left, setting things up for Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy on the night, 1 for 4. Jimmy with a check swing dribbler down the first base line for the 3rd out of the 1st inning. Grounded into an inning-ending double play in the 3rd. Singled in the 5th. Made it over to 3rd, and guess what happened? We stranded him there. And then he struck out in the 6th for the final out of the inning. First pitch to him way outside, ball 1. Bowman coming with early heat to Jimmy Standahar, but nowhere near the strike zone. 1 ball, no strikes. 2-2 tie, bottom of the 8th. In on the grass at 3rd, and then peeling back is Webb Little. 1-0 pitch. It is bunted down the 3rd base line. In is Little, makes the throw to 1st, and they get Jimmy Standahar. Alex O'Donnell up to 2nd, sacrifice bunt for Jimmy. 2 out now, though, and O'Donnell at 2nd.
Now up the back, the 3rd baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada.
That's a heck of a play by Webb Little as he bare hands and throws out Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy disappointed, thought he could beat that out, and Webb Little handled it like he does it every day. O'Donnell at 2nd base, representing the go-ahead run. Runner then in scoring position, and the first pitch to Estrada is a strike called. 0-1 the count. Chris Estrada at the plate. During the regular season, Chris, with runners in scoring position, hit .346. .295, runners in scoring position, 2 out. That pitch is outside for a ball, and the throw down to 2nd by catcher Camilo Espinozo hits the back of O'Donnell, and he's back safely, and the count's 1-1 on Estrada, and OD's going to have to shake that one off. Bases umpire Gary Benton, and a weak foul over toward the Flames dugout, scooped up by the head coach. He was going after that ball like it was a free prime rib dinner. Ryan Stevens, 1-2 the count. Does he get a bonus for doing that? 1-2 count. This one's popped up. First baseman Trey Bauer in foul territory makes the catch, and the Jammers once again get a runner up to 2nd base this time and unable to get him in. And we go to the top of the 9th after scoring no runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Flames, a runner left. And we head to that top of the 9th. We're still tied. Flames 2, Jammers 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Chances are there'll never be an emergency ever again. But just in case, let's talk about a plan.
Okay.
Who is going to grab the go bag?
What's a go bag? It is a bag we do not have that is filled with things we really, really need in an emergency.
Guess we won't have to worry about it then.
Well, this is great. I am so glad that we don't have a plan.
I know.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Well, the 4 teams in the East of the PGCBL have wrapped up their first-round games, and it will be Amsterdam taking on Mohawk Valley. Mohawk Valley defeated Albany 4-3 at Albany earlier today, and Amsterdam has defeated Saugerties by a score of 6-3. So once again, that will be Amsterdam Mohawk in the East for the East Division Championship. Meanwhile, Elmira leads Geneva 9-2 in the top of the 8th inning. At the plate for the Onondaga Flames, top of the 9th, right fielder Sam Little has a swing that he didn't want to make, but it was a swing nonetheless, and it's strike one. 0-1 the count. Isaac Meza continuing on the hill for the Jammers with the 0-1 pitch. This is outside low, and the count evens up at 1 on Sam Little. Middle third of the order, Sam Little, Camilo Spinozo, and Webb Little due up to face Isaac Meza. 1-1 pitch from Isaac. Grounded down to Ben Brookover, takes a belt-high hop. Underhand toss from Ben to Isaac Meza, retires Sam Little for the first out here in the top of the 9th. And it brings up catcher Camilo Spinozo. Spinozo on the night is 0 for 3. Line drive out to Nick Burnick. Final out of the first. Grounded out to Chris Estrada for the first out of the 4th. Hit one back to the pitcher. Dave Lascawa in the 6th. Hits this one over the head of Isaac Meza, but Alex O'Donnell ranges over in front of the bag at second, picks that one off, and throws out Spinozo for the second out here in the top of the 9th inning. 2 up, 2 down. And it brings up Webb Little. Webb Little on the night is 0 for 3. Out to Brookover unassisted for the first out of the second. Popped out to Chris Estrada for the second out of the 4th. Grounded out to Nick Burnick for the final out in the 6th. First pitch to him misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody aboard, 2 out. Jammers pitching has stymied the Flames since back in the 4th inning. 1-0 pitch. Misses low, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Webb Little. Isaac Mason not happy with the call. Turns his back to home plate, walks back, almost off the edge of the mound, then gets back up on the rubber. Shakes off one sign from Cross. Ready now with the 2-ball, no-strike pitch to Webb Little. Pops it up. Right fielder John Conti coming in. Makes the call. And the catch, retiring Webb Little. And the Flames in the top of the 9th. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left. And we head to the bottom of the 9th. Can the Jammers get some guys on and not leave them stranded, please? The score is tied. Onondaga 2. And the Jammers 2. Here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
All right. I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. So, who's going to do what? Flashlights?
Nowhere to be found.
Where to be found? Batteries?
Dead.
Great. Emergency supply kits?
Not packed.
No. What about blankets?
We have an old towel.
Good enough. Cell phones?
May not work.
Emergency water?
Not a drop.
And what about food?
Nope.
Perfect. We all know where we're meeting if we're separated, yeah?
The library. Aunt Joan's house.
The bus stop.
Great. And I'll be waiting here wondering where you all are. Sounds like we don't have a plan. Who's up for mini golf?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. A public service announcement brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Back at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown, New York. We're tied at 2. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-9 and 1 due up for the Jammers and Matt Cross, Nick Bernick, and Chris Conley. Matt Cross on the night's been on base a couple of times, singled in the 7th. We got him over to 3rd and stranded him there, and has a big cut and a miss on the first Matt Bowman pitch, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Colin Johnston was up loosening in the Jammers bullpen to maybe set up a situation where if this goes extra frames, it would be closer versus closer. Matt Bowman with 7 saves on the season for the Onondaga Flames, and Colin Johnston with 5 for the Jammers. Swing and a miss, strike 2 to Matt Cross. In between there, a ball was thrown, and the count's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cross, the leadoff batter, taking his time as he stepped out. Bowman fidgets around a little bit out there in the mound and now gets ready. Shakes off the first sign from Spinozo, and the 1-2. Outside, low, ball 2. Counts even at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. This one's popped up and playable in the infield. Shortstop Wyatt Myers and third baseman Webb Little converged. Looked like there may be a disagreement as to who was going to take that. In the end, it was the shortstop, Wyatt Myers, that makes the catch for the first out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1 out, nobody aboard. So the Jammers and Anthony Barone opt for a pinch hitter here. Nick Bernick due up, and it's going to be Chris Steffel to face Matt Bowman. May recall Steffel hitting a stinging double up at Onondaga earlier this season. A stinging double would be good here. Everybody's set now. Chris steps in. Bowman looks in. And the first pitch. Steffel takes strike 1. No balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting pinch hitter. In extra innings this year, in case you're interested, the Jammers are 2-2. 0-2 the count to Steffel as he fouled off the second pitch over the home plate grandstand. 0-2 pitch. Chris gets a piece of it, fouls it back toward the netting of the home plate grandstand. And once again, Ryan Stevens looked like a hungry dog going after a steak to get that ball that rolled down off the netting. Count still 0-2. Bowman's 0-2 pitch. Right down the pipe, taken by Steffel, strike 3 called. 2 up, 2 down. Chris Conley will be the last thing between a win and extra innings. Flames with a single run in the first and a single tally in the fourth. I don't care if it's Common Core, new math, or any kind of math, that's 2. And the Jammers scored 2 in the fourth and no runs any of the other innings. So that's an easy one. That's 2. We're tied. First pitch to Conley misses outside, ball 1. Christ on the night. Hit by a pitch a couple of times, intentional walk. Singled in the 7th as he wrapped one back through the box and off the leg of the pitcher. That pitch is low, ball 2. 2-0 the count on Chris Conley. John Conti on deck if Chris can keep things going here in the bottom half of the 9th. 2-0 pitch, went to check his swing. Did he go around the appeal? And bases umpire Gary Benton says no. Count now 3-0. And that's really such a tough one there because you're asking the guy that's down the first baseline with nobody on base to look at a left-handed hitter and tell you whether he went around. He said safe. That pitch catches inside corner, taking all the way Conley, and the count now 3-1. Tied at 2. We're in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Onondaga and Jamestown. 3-1 pitch. Inside corner, strike 2 called. Conley really disagrees with that. Spins around and walks almost the whole way over to that circle cutout off the home plate circle. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Take it out on the ball, Chris. Payoff pitch. Inside low, ball 4. Or you can walk. The choice is yours. And Chris Conley is on base again. Has been at the plate 6 times and on base 5 times. Hit by a pitch twice, intentional walk, a single, and another regular walk that just occurred. Oh, he struck out in the 5th on a 1-2 pitch. Wow. John Conti at the plate. John on the night is 1 for 4. It's one high in the air that'll be fieldable by Stephen Bennett, the left fielder. He coasts underneath it and makes the catch of the pop-up off the bat of John Conti to retire the side. Jammers do get a runner on, but nothing to do with them. No runs, no hits. No Onondaga errors, a runner left for the Jammers again. I'll give you the totals on how horrendous it has been for the Jammers tonight as far as leaving guys on base. I'll have that number for you when we come back. We have completed 9, and the score, Flames 2, Jammers 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Back for the Flames half of the 10th inning in a 2-2 tie. Ryan Markey's gone in to play second base after Chris Steffel pinch hit for Nick Bernick. At the plate, it is Alex Canty facing Isaac Meza for the first time. Took ball 1. 1-0 the count. Estrada creeping in at third. Next pitch catches outside corner. Count evens at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Canty.
Pitch to Canty. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Isaac Meza in out of the bullpen. There are a couple of Flames left down in their bullpen, but I think you're seeing Bowman the rest of this game. This one popped up, left center field, Valentine under. That is the first out here in the top of the 10th inning. 1 up, 1 down.
Shortstop number 7, Wyatt Myers.
Brings up shortstop Wyatt Myers. Nobody aboard, 1 out. Myers 0 for 3 on the night. Last time he was up was the 7th inning. It is now the 10th. Myers popped out to Burnick in foul territory for the last out of the second. Grounded out to Burnick in the 4th for the final out of that inning, and grounded out Laskawa to Brookover for the second out of the 7th. First pitch to him, a strike from Meza, 0-1 the count. Isaac's 0-1 pitch. Outside in the dirt. Skips off the catcher's mitt of Matt Cross, and an attempt by Tim Adams to grab it, but not quite quick enough. Counts even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody aboard. Top of the 10th inning, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Wyatt Myers. Two tie here in the top of the 10th. 1 out, nobody aboard the pitch. Even though Myers backed up from that, that was pretty darn close to the inside corner, but it's called ball 2 and the count's even at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Isaac Meza's 2-2. Lofted in the air toward right. Conti running and making the catch. Heading toward the right field foul line. Reels it in. And that's the second out here in the top of the 10th. 2 up, 2 down.
Pitching for the Flames from SUNY Cortland, number 6, Colin Bavard.
Enter into the game Colin Bavard as he pinch hits, that is, for tonight's DH, Adam Gallagher. Nobody aboard, 2 out. First pitch, Bavard wanted the swing, didn't, maybe should have. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Bavard lines one down the right field line foul, hits in the Flames bullpen, and then bounces down to the picnic tables. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Bavard in 2017 hit .241. Played in 32 games, made 23 starts. 0-2 the count on him. The pitch. Outside corner, strike 3 called. That'll do it for the Flames in the top of the 10th. No runs, hits, or errors. Nobody left. Jammers coming up in the bottom of the 10th with Brookover, Valentine, and O'Donnell. Right after we take this time out on the Jammers Baseball Network.
This is the news. This morning, we are saluting the 2.2 million women who have joined in the war effort. They now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
The prestigious Harvard Medical School is breaking ground today, opening its doors to new female applicants.
Today, little girls all over the world look to the sky, where the first woman is now in space.
Military stereotypes are challenged today with the trailblazing promotion of a U.S. female officer to 4-star general. It was just announced that the vast majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
We've come so far, but our news is changing for the worse. More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women.
As I've heard it said, on occasion, Holy Schnikes. They're at McDonough Park in Geneva, New York. It's the top of the 9th. And the score, Elmira 12, Geneva 2. The winner of that game will go on to face the winner of this game and play for the PGCBL West Division Championship in the postseason. Ben Brookover starts things off. First pitch by Bowman, low outside, ball 1. Ben on the night, up for his 6th time, and he is 2 for 4 tonight. That pitch catches that outside corner at the knees, and the count evens up at 1-1. And Ben is rapidly running out of right leg on his uniform. He's got a heck of a tear just in behind his knee on that uni. Next pitch to Ben was a ball in the count, 2-1. If you're watching on YouTube, perhaps you can see the gaping hole. 2 balls, 1 strike, Bowman's pitch. Hit in the air on a line drive. It'll be over the head of the left fielder, Bennett. Brookover rounds first, on his way to second. And the throw in is bobbled by Myers, but Ben pulled up into second base with a leadoff double. Misread out there by Stephen Bennett. Hit hard by Ben Brookover over his head. And it brings up Skylar Valentine. Two-two score, bottom of the 10th inning. Jammers and Flames. 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Flames. 2 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for the Jammers. Matt Bowman, their closer, is on the hill. Just gave up a leadoff double to Ben Brookover, and Skylar Valentine, his UTSA teammate, is at the plate. And the crowd is getting into the head of Matt Bowman. And now Ryan Stevens comes out of the dugout to call time. I have no idea what he and Adams may be talking about. Stevens is checking to see if there's a problem physically, I guess, with Bowman. Skylar Valentine will go down the third baseline and meet Anthony Barone, and Ben Brookover will come running in from second base and join that conversation. Skylar on the night is 0 for 5. Up to this at-bat, he struck out twice, did that in the first and the 6th. Was on base via fielder's choice in the 3rd and also in the 4th, and then a fly ball out to right center field, caught by right fielder Sam Little for the first out back in the 8th. It is the 10th, the bottom half.
Let's go!
We're at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park in Jamestown. Conversation over between Stevens and Bowman. Trey Bauer will start Valentine's at-bat almost in Valentine's back pocket. Charging in, squaring to bunt Valentine, pulling back, taking ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Second baseman Canty has left a gaping hole out there between the second base bag and where he is. And Skylar Valentine's an excellent up-the-middle hitter, but only if he has a pitch to hit. Second one from Bowman, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Brookover at second, nobody out the pitch. Misses outside, ball 3. Bowman snatches that one out of the air in disgust. 3 balls, no strikes. Jammers trying to get to the second round. 3-0 pitch. Taken and a called strike over the outside corner. The count 3-1. OD on deck, Standahar in the hole. Right field line looks dandy, or the left field line if you want to pull one, Skyler. It's up to you. 3-1 count. The pitch from Bowman. Misses outside. Oh, what a late call from Tim Adams. Valentine had tossed his bat, was ready to go down to first. Anthony Barone trying to get him refocused because now Valentine is very frustrated on that call. Full count to Valentine. Brookover at second. Nobody out. Bowman's payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He blew it by him. Valentine strikes out for the third time tonight.
Shortstop number 1,
OD at the plate. I seem to remember a night not that long ago when there was a shot down the right field line that scored a couple of jammers in extra innings to win a game. First pitch is up around the eyeballs of Alex O'Donnell, and he just kind of stands there and backs up. Got his attention. 1 ball, no strikes. OD at the plate for a 6th time. Currently 1 for 3. He's walked 2 times as well and reached on an error. 1-0 count. Pitched by Bowman. Hit high in the air towards center field. Gallagher goes back and then comes back in the same direction he headed back from. Ends up exactly where he was and catches the pop-up off the bat of Alex O'Donnell for the 2nd out of the inning.
left fielder number 29, Jamestown.
I hate to pass this on at this point. We're in the 10th. To this point in the game, the Jammers through 9 have stranded 18. 18 runners left on base. 2 out. Brookover at second. Standahar at the plate. The first Bowman pitch is outside, ball 1. Brookover with a leadoff double. Has not had an opportunity to move. 1-0 the count. Standahar watches ball 2. Count 2-0. As I had mentioned, Bowman on the season in his 25 innings walked 11, but he struck out 20. 2-0 pitch way outside, ball 3. Three balls, no strikes. 2 out. Brookover at second. 3-0 count. Bowman's 3-1. High inside, ball 4. Standahar down to first. The team's RBI leader for the regular season at the plate.
Third baseman number 16, Chris Estrada.
Estrada drove in 37 during the season over the course of 50 games. Well, 49 in our case. Drove in 37. He's got Brookover at second. Standahar doesn't mean anything down at first. It's all about Ben. And the first pitch to Estrada catches outside corner. Chris watches strike 1. Chris has been on base once, and he scored back in the 4th inning when the Jammers scored 2 to tie it up, and it's remained that way ever since the bottom of the 4th. 0-1, high, outside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Ben Brookover, leadoff double, still at second. Valentine struck out. O'Donnell popped out. Standahar walked. He's down at first. 1-1 count to Estrada. Misses. Never mind. Strike 2. That looked both low and outside from up here. Anthony Barone made a little motion toward home plate as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 out, 2 on. Tied at 2. The pitch. Outside, ball 2. Everybody kind of freezes now because you don't know if that's going to be called a strike or not. 2-2 count. If the Jammers win tonight, there'd be another game here tomorrow night with $2 admission. 2-2 count. 2 out, 2 on. Deuces wild. Pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He struck out Valentine and Estrada. 2 UTSA guys did Matt Bowman to retire the side. No runs, a hit. No errors, and believe it or not, 2 runners left on base. At the end of 10, the score, Onondaga 2 and the Jammers 2. More after this on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Isaac Meza about to begin his 4th inning of work. Dave Lascawa started the game, went 7. Isaac's thrown 3 so far. He's out there to start the 11th inning, and the top of the order will be facing him: Stephen Bennett, Kyle Gallagher, and Trey Bauer. 2-2 tie, top of the 11th. First pitch from Meza's in the dirt, ball 1. The Elmira Pioneers have punched their ticket into the postseason, handing the Geneva Red Wings a 12-2 defeat at Geneva. Everything is decided now except for this game. Outside corner for Mesa, count evens at 1. Don't get too frustrated, Stephen. It goes both ways. We've seen that call a number of times on us. Counts even at 1. 1-1 pitch way outside. 2-1 the count. Colin Johnston had been up loosening in the Jammers pen. He would probably be the next option for the Jammers if there's a decision to lift Isaac. Off-speed pitch. Bennett fouls it back to the home plate grandstand, and the count is even at 2. If you're just joining us, and you might be, Onondaga with a single tally back in the first inning and then one in the 4th for their 2. Ground ball, shortstop Alex O'Donnell over gets a friendly hop at the belt and throws out Stephen Bennett for the first out here in the top of the 11th. It'll bring up center fielder Kyle Gallagher. 1 out and nobody aboard. Gallagher at the plate for a 5th time. Struck out back in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, grounded out to Bernick in the 6th, and popped out to Bernick in the 8th. 1 for 4 tonight for Kyle Gallagher. 1 out, nobody aboard for him. Isaac Meza with the first pitch. Almost went around and not quite. Ball 1. Pitch inside. Somewhat of a protective type swing by Gallagher. 1 ball, no strikes. Meza's 1-0. Right down the pipe, taken. Counts even at 1. The Jamestown Jammers in tonight's game through 10 innings have stranded 20 batters, 20 base runners. Ground ball to first, Ben Brookover with the underhand toss to Isaac Mesa. Second time that's happened since Isaac's been out there, and that's the second out. 3-1. Record that, put out. And that will bring up first baseman Trey Bauer. 2 out, nobody aboard for Bauer. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Isaac Mesa's first pitch. Misses outside, ball 1. Bauer singled and scored the first. Onondaga Flames run back in the first inning. 1-0 the count. Inside, ball 2. Count 2-0. Colin Johnston loosening in the pen. 2-0 count. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Matt Cross, and the count out 2-1. Trey Bauer, right-handed hitting first baseman of the Flames, facing the second pitcher of the night for the Jammers. Lines one into left center field. Over for it is Valentine. Cuts it off, and Bauer will stay at first base as the throw comes into the cutoff man, Alex O'Donnell, the shortstop. 2-out single, Trey Bauer. 1 on, 2 out for Sam Little. Little was the guy that drove in the first run of the game for the Flames with a double back in the first inning. And then he singled and scored in the fourth, playing an active role in both of the Flames' runs here tonight. Then Sam Little doubled down the left field line in the sixth. He moved up to third, but they could not get him in. He also grounded out. That was the other Brookover to Mesa out, recorded back in the ninth inning. It is the 11th. We're tied at 2. All the other postseason matchups have been decided, as in the East, it will be Mohawk Valley and Amsterdam, and that series will open up at Amsterdam coming up tomorrow night. Elmira will take on the winner of this game. If it's Onondaga, the game will be at Elmira. If it's the Jammers, the game will be here tomorrow night at 7:05. Sam Little at the plate. Hayden Carter with a chat with Isaac Mesa, and the first pitch is outside high, ball 1. Little, the left-handed hitter. Mesa, the righty on the hill. One ball, no strike pitch. Just high, that's a ball. Throw down to second, and they got Trey Bauer trying to steal second, and that was a delayed throw down by Cross. Bauer caught stealing to bring the inning to an end, catching everyone by surprise except for Matt Cross as he throws him out at second. No runs, a hit, no Jammers errors, nobody left. We have completed 10 and a half. The score is tied. Jammers 2, Flames 2 on the Jammers Baseball Network.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. I'm Paul George. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke, F-A-S-T. Fast. Life is why. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
On to the bottom half of the 11th inning. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for the Jammers. That would be Matt Cross, Ryan Markey, and Chris Conley. Matt Cross has been on base a couple of times with a single in the 7th, made it over to 3rd, and guess what? We stranded him. What's new? When you strand 20 guys in a game. First pitch to Cross, strike 1. Otherwise, Matt hit a fly ball out to the center fielder, struck out in the 5th, and popped out to the shortstop in the 9th. Hits a grounder in the hole between short and 3rd. Leadoff single, Matt Cross. And it brings up Ryan Markey for the first time tonight. And coming in to run for Matt Cross is Christian Deaton. Deaton in to run for Cross, and of course Anthony Barone has Connor Rule if none of this pays off and we go to a 12th inning. So it's Christian Deaton down at first, and at the plate Ryan Markey.
And joining for your Jammers from California State University at Bakersfield, number 7, Christian Deaton.
Deaton with a speed down at first. Ryan Markey, second batter of the inning. Third baseman Little in on the grass. Halfway for the middle infielders. Squaring to bunt, pulling back, and watching that pitch from Bowman go outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. One-oh the count. Matt Bowman with a 1-0 pitch in the dirt in front of the plate. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. Bowman showed a little bit of a wild streak there previous inning, but then when it mattered, he was able to get the outs. A couple of huge strikeouts by Bowman. 2-0 count. The pitch. Markey watches ball 3. That one's low. Anthony Barone's halfway down the line. Markey getting signs from him. Deaton keeping an eye on him as well. Bowman doesn't like the baseball, throws it back in. Gets a different one from Tim Adams, but he'll maybe see that baseball again as Tim puts it right in his left ball pocket. 3-0 count. The pitch by Bowman. Outside corner and strike 1 called to count 3-1. Markey backs out of the batter's box and watches the signs from Anthony Barone. Deaton down at first. 3-1 count, and Markey quickly backs out of the batter's box again and goes down to talk to Anthony Barone. Anthony knows that Onondaga has lip readers in the stands, and he covers his mouth with his helmet. That's the newest paid position in the PGCBL, lip reader. Now, I know for a fact that there are major league teams, maybe all of them, that do hire lip readers. But I'm sorry, in the PGCBL, that's just not happening. 3-1 pitch. Markey bunts. High chopper. Bowman looks at second. No play there. Goes to first and Bauer and gets Ryan Markey. Sacrifice bunt moves Deaton up to second. So the winning run at second base with 1 out.
Back up the bat for your Jammers, the DH number 17.
Chris Conley, intentional walk. He goes right down to first base, and if anyone that has anything to do with baseball rules and the execution of the game, that is the biggest mistake that baseball has made. There are those that would argue the DH, but I'm sorry, I have seen, and it doesn't happen often, all done for the sake of shortening a baseball game. You have to be kidding me. If you want to shorten a baseball game, first pitch to Conte's fouled back, strike one. If you want to shorten the baseball game, what you do is cut down on the length of the commercial breaks between the innings. They're 3.5 minutes long. Cut them down to 2.5 and you shave 9+ minutes off a game. Line drive by Conte down by Anthony Barone, strike two. Intentional walks are not saving you that much time. Knock it off. Not to mention the fact that I have seen some pitchers throw a ball away, and in this case, us having Deaton there at second base. Line drive, center field. Deaton retreated. He didn't know if it'd get in. It's rolling to left center. Barone waves. Christian Deaton scores. It's on to the second round for the Jamestown Jammers, winning it in the 11th inning on a single by John Conte. The final, Jammers 3, Flames 2. And the guy that had closed out so many games for the Onondaga Flames was finally gotten to by the Jamestown Jammers in the 11th inning here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. The inning started when Matt Cross singled, Christian Deaton into pinch run. Ryan Markey sacrifice bunted him up to second. Chris Conley was intentionally walked. John Conte came to the plate with Conley at first, Deaton at second, and hits one into left center field that rolled for a while. Now here's the amazing part about this. If you happen to be watching that on YouTube, you would have seen Deaton retreat to second base, not sure that that ball was going to drop and not wanting to be the second out of the inning, then realized it went through, and Anthony Barone could not send him home quickly enough. Christian Deaton comes in to score the game-winning run, and the Jammers in 11 defeat the Onondaga Flames in a hard-fought round one playoff win by a final of 3-2. The Jammers will be hosting the Elmira Pioneers tomorrow night at 7:05 here at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Get into the ballpark for $2 and join the postseason excitement here with the Jamestown Jammers. Once again, the final score tonight, Jammers 3, Flames 2. Tip of the cap to the Onondaga Flames, because when you're facing a team that ends up, and I'm going to get this final number for you, 20 runners in 10 innings. When you're facing a team that gets that many runners on, and you keep them off the board from the 4th inning to the 11th, that's a tip of the cap to Onondaga. They fought all the way to the end of the game. And thanks to John Conte with his single to left center field going the opposite way, as John can do, wins it for us here in the bottom half of the 11th inning. We normally don't do final totals, but since we're here this long, why not? For the Jamestown Jammers, 3 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for Onondaga, who scored their runs in the 1st and 4th. Jammers with 2 in the bottom of the 4th, and the game-winning run here in the bottom of the 11th inning. Byer, Greco, Marcatel, and Bowman all through for the Flames tonight. Bowman will get the loss in the championship, not the championship, but this playoff game. And for the Jamestown Jammers, Dave Lascawa goes 7, Isaac Meza goes 4. Isaac has himself a postseason win as his Jammers do it for him there in the bottom of the 11th. Tomorrow night, 7:05, Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park. We hope to see your face in the place, and what the heck, at $2 to get into the game, why not? Beautiful night here tonight, and a great result if you're a Jamestown Jammers fan, as the Jammers walk away tonight with the 3-2 extra inning win. That's going to do it for tonight. For Anthony Barone, Hayden Carter, Scotty James, the rest of the Jamestown Jammers, and the great staff here at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park, this is Dave Shannon saying good night, everybody.